Undergrunt.
We're going to play a little game of 20 questions. Depending on how you answer, you may walk out of here with a tan.
What's that?
Oh, that? Oh, it's nothing. It's a routine research. Heh, heh. Actually, it's a video game.
That must have hurt.
It's a fragment, a piece of the prophecy.
What prophecy?
Oh, I'm not really sure. There's so many out.
Mars was a sack of souls with experiment scars. When the second of the monk said, I'll take two, and he put them in a rocket and he ate a lot of glue. And he shot them straight to Earth where they turned into babies. They were named from that, and they rarely got rabies. And the monk made a movie of their whole entire lives. They were panoramic scenes and zooms of the thighs. One time Bob had sex with a ladle, and one time Matt lost a vet to a cradle, and another time Bob caught a dinosaur mom, and another time Matt bought a replica of Guam. And all this and more is on a DVD set, only $20.99 with the purchase of a gem. But if you call right now and say, where's my whisk, we'll include this bonus disc.
Hey, welcome to Bonus Disc!
God.
I'm your host, Bob Rose, and with me is the other host, Matt P.A., and with
Yeehaw!
us is returning guest of the show for the third time, Tyler Merchant.
I tried to prepare for that, and still, you got me.
You're just waiting the whole time?
I was like, they're going to do it any fucking second now. They do this
not
every
me.
time.
It's all me, man.
You did, yeah, you do it
do
too.
it once.
You,
No, I should
you
do
did
it
it
once.
last
I'll do
time.
it, Nick. No, I didn't. I never do it.
I remember you doing it.
That's never me.
I started to have to work in the hellos
'Cause I'm
between
still
Matt
trying to-
speaking at this point. Anyway, hi, thank you for listening to the best show on the internet.
The only show.
The only show.
I am pleased to be here.
Yes. Thank you, Tyler, for returning. God.
Always a great time.
So we got to, I feel like lately we've watched a few weather movies.
Yeah, we've watched a few weather
Matt's favorite genre of film.
It kind of is one of my favorites. I'm not going to lie.
You were so excited for Geostorm.
Dude, anything that has to do with people... Dude, you know why? Because when you're fighting the weather, that means the plot is going to be a mess. Because it's going to be like... They're going to have to somehow shoehorn in a storm into these character arcs. It's great.
Do you count Volcano?
Yeah, I mean...
Does that count?
That's disaster.
Disasters and storms are little separate, but they're in the same
storm
ballpark.
specifically.
The weather ones are the
wet.
best because it's just insane. There's nothing to fight. You know what I mean? They just have to deal with this thing that's happening, and usually the story that happens is so stupid and boring.
You know what they should have done? Give it a face.
Well, don't jump ahead.
Yeah, stop, Tyler.
You're jumping ahead.
It really helped with the empathy.
Anyway,
this movie.
Wait, hold on. I didn't say the movie.
Great, could have been incredible.
The movie we watched was from the director of Dragonheart, Fast and the Furious, Triple X, Stealth, and Mummy 3: Tomb of the Dragon Emperor.
Also, 3 episodes of Miami Vice.
And
that
3
was
episodes.
A steep drop off in quality. Boom, Mummy 3, dirt.
No boy.
Oh, it's not
Rob
Mummy
Cohen.
3. It's like an offshoot of that. It's like a new part of that.
No, it was the
Universe.
third Mummy movie.
The Mummy universe?
The Scorpion King?
No,
No,
he
no.
directed the third Brendan Fraser Mummy movie.
Wasn't that the Scorpion King?
No,
Scorpion
King's an offshoot, and there's actually
There's like five of those.
There's 5 of them.
There's 5 Scorpion
Yes,
Kings.
in fact, one of the actors from 4 is in my next short. Anyway, we're talking about Rob Cohen. He directed recently the movie called The Hurricane Heist, which we watched. It was in theaters for 90 minutes. One showing and it was out. I don't even remember it coming out. And,
It's the first I've heard of it.
I was like, hey, somebody let me know when Hurricane Heist comes out. And then the first message I get is when it's in the $2 theater. And I'm like, wow, that was quick. Okay.
Which I guess, since it's just timing, let's give a formal apology to Sean Jones.
Sorry, Sean.
Ultimate friend of the show, which we were supposed to watch this movie with, but we made a last-minute decision. You know, but he already hates Tyler, so it's okay.
Yeah. Have I met him?
No, but
Anyway, let's get to it, because Sean, we're sorry.
Yeah.
We love you. Hurricane Heist.
Dude.
A movie that I don't think we knew anything about location for.
We really
Okay, so-
we don't. Yeah,
That
this
was our
movie,
fault.
We can't go
This is
back. We have to
completely-
talk about that.
Yeah, this is completely our fault, but it made the movie so fun to watch. It was
so
insane.
much better.
And there's a line in the movie that doesn't make any
We
sense.
live in Baltimore. If you're listening, and you didn't know already.
Yeah,
We're in
we live
Baltimore,
in Baltimore, Maryland,
So,
and
yeah.
the movie starts with a truck driving in a storm, and it does say that it's in Gulfport, Alabama, 1993.
92.
92. We all missed that apparently, or forgot it immediately.
It was the very first thing that happened in the entire movie.
But then the next
We were
time,
you know what?
Yeah.
It's that the credits and the title cards looked exactly the same.
Yes.
I think we dismissed it visually
I
as
wasn't
credits.
reading the credits.
So yeah, we didn't read that it was like, oh, that's part of the story.
I feel like as it was fading away, somebody was like, "Wait, did that just say it was 1992?" And we were like, "Oh, I guess."
Moving on.
Yeah, so it was a flashback, and then the first time you're in real time, it says they're in Silver Spring, Maryland. So we thought the whole movie took place in Silver Spring, Maryland, which made the entire thing hysterical because they kept talking about how much of a dinky podunk town.
Everybody's Southern.
And everyone has a Southern accent. We were like, "What the hell do these people think Maryland is like?"
There's a beach that has a beach and a
No,
port.
it's like Hill Valley next to Miami.
It's like Springfield.
Everyone's poor. It's
It
like
does look like the Hill Valley downtown.
You're right. What?
Yeah, we were like, "Wait a minute."
It's like Springfield. It somehow has everything despite not being near
Not
any
being
of those
weird or
things.
anything.
Yeah.
Just know that it made the first hour of this movie way more exciting because we were like, they're getting it so wrong.
Well,
Yeah.
there were some things that backed it up for a little while.
The problem is that there's one location in this movie that is totally just
It's
adrift.
hundreds of miles
Yeah,
away.
and that's
it might as well
this.
be in space.
Yeah, it might as well be.
And it
Why
has
wasn't it in Washington just for ease of
I
use?
know. It's just a damn meteorologist station.
and it
Yeah.
had no point. It was totally ineffectual.
We gotta
Okay,
start.
all right, we have
But
to start this
you
movie,
need to
but Jesus
understand we
Christ.
can't go back and explain this that we didn't understand where this was taking place. There is a scene that happens in Silver Spring. We're not.
Yes,
Yeah.
it happened.
At one
Yeah.
building that we were told is in Silver Spring.
Okay, so
But it
the movie-
opens up on Alabama, 1992.
and a truck is driving down this road, and there's this crazy storm going on behind it, and it's this dad and two kids in the car, and they're fighting over he's like, "It's all your fault. You had to stop and get that cat or something." Like the one brother tried to save a cat, and the younger brother was blaming him for that's why the storm was so close to them. I guess.
Yeah,
Sure, yeah.
Dude,
They're
also,
fighting about
we
something.
should also mention this immediately. You can't hear anyone in this movie, which makes it so good because so much of these people shouting over a storm that is ungodly loud.
It's
It's
so
so
loud.
crazy. It's so loud. Oh my god, it's awesome. So it's people just shouting.
and it's not just storm. It's just noise.
You said the one time, I was like, did it just roar? Did the
Yeah.
storm
No, it's like they just
roar?
add. It's
So
like,
it sounds insane. So like when we're just like, I think this is what's going on, it's because people were mumbling over a storm.
we missed a lot of dialogue.
Oh, so much.
We didn't have subtitles,
There was no
obviously. So yeah.
I feel like we got the gist of
we
it.
got it.
I mean,
but,
we
like,
understood what was
Jesus.
happening because of the synopsis.
The mumbling. Dude, that hacker guy, I didn't understand a word he said the whole movie.
Hold on, we didn't get to the
Okay.
hacker guy yet.
All right.
So the truck's going out. The storm starts to get really bad, to the point where the truck is actually veering off the road.
No,
Well,
a tree
A
falls.
tree falls and the truck veers off the road toward a random farmhouse. I guess
But
it
it
was
smashes into a tree trunk and gets stuck up on a rock or
Yeah.
something like that.
basically the wheels off the ground.
Yeah.
So the dad takes the kids into this house, and
Which is
not into the
conveniently
basement.
unlocked.
So awesome.
They don't look for
They
a
don't
storm
look for a basement,
cellar,
nothing. They're just
nothing.
like, all right, here, I'm going to the center of this house. And when they did,
I mean, they're in a storm alley, right? This is
That's
something
what it
that
looks
happens
like.
here a lot. You think this house would have at least a basement, right?
dude, this house looked like it was just built on a bunch of pallets.
It was unlocked in the middle of a fucking hurricane. They did. I assume
Like,
they
they just-
evacuated. We're
I
like,
guess.
this will be here or it won't. Whatever.
No, the house was they just slid it off the road right onto the grass. It was not even connected to anything.
Yeah, I was like, weird. It looked weird as fuck. And
Yeah.
then he goes, I'm going to go out into the storm. I love you.
Don't
I'm gonna-
hit your brother. He's in charge.
You're in charge. I'm going to go, fix the truck so we can drive out of here. Oh, and then you just watch this guy like fight with a storm while he like hooks a winch to a backhoe.
He's hooking the winch. He's having trouble as the house is being completely torn apart.
Well, no, that hasn't started yet.
that was after.
You're right.
The wind starts picking up. I guess like the roof starts coming off of the house, maybe like shingles or something. The kids start freaking out. They look out the window. The dad is running back to the house. A fucking silo just fucking takes him out. He is
And it's
just
in a
gone.
wide shot.
Yeah.
It's so unceremonious.
Yeah,
it's just like
great.
whoop. You're looking at it over a child's shoulder through a window.
It
and
takes
he's
a
just-
minute.
He's just gone.
It takes a couple seconds for like you always like see it coming.
It was almost like Austin Powers, like, no!
The kids
Yeah.
are freaking out. Then the house disintegrates. It just
Like flips over.
I mean, it
itself.
starts
Well,
to
we
look
didn't.
like Wizard of
I
Oz.
didn't know
from
that he was
inside. They're
actually
like,
dead. I was like questioning
Yeah,
because
you were like, "What happened to
the
the
shot
dad?" And I
was
was
so
like,
far away. I was like,
What
was that his body or what? A stick? I couldn't see. It's so chaotic.
Yeah, the silo killed him.
the silo.
Why
took
not
him
give him a
out.
close up or something of him like looking at the kids or something? I don't know.
Something,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. So then, the house just turns into powder. It's like,
It like flips over. The kids go all crazy in the house. It's destroyed, and then the older brother's like passed out, and the younger brother looks.
it's the
oh my
greatest
God.
moment.
The roof's all destroyed. There's a hole into the sky. He's looking at the storm that ate his father, and it forms the face of a skull, and it like screams at him. And we all lost it. I mean, that was so good.
You know what? Okay, yes, it was metaphor. The kid was seeing.
It was misleading, is what it was.
Yeah.
Yes. The kid was obviously giving it a face.
Yeah.
What's sad is it was promising a movie that was way better.
Like the Jeepers Creepers of storms.
Storm.
Like, 26 years.
The living storm is here. Skull Storm would have been a cool name for
Oh,
this
man.
movie. Skull Storm. It's not.
Man,
That's not. It's not
not what
nearly as
happens.
cool as you
No,
want it to
no.
be. It's not.
This movie could have been super incredible. Like,
To add that much plot back into it, like the storm is alive and there's a heist. What would you even do?
The storm would kill all the bad guys, which it sort of does.
kind of does. You're right.
Yeah, eventually, yeah.
So then
It just didn't have the face anymore.
it shows the younger kid's face, and he's all freaked out.
Right.
And then, what does it cut to?
Then it cuts to Silver Spring, Maryland, the weather
It cuts
center.
to the weather facility.
They don't even say what it is.
No, it's like a research facility.
It's
just say where
it's the
it
National
is.
Weather something.
Right. So we thought, because
They
of this
never
title
said
card,
what it was.
we
Or
thought
who
this
he worked for. Everybody just works for the federal government. It's insane.
the title card for this scene pretty much misled us the whole movie.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, okay, it's all Silver Spring, Maryland now.
Yeah. Because this scene is the main character talking to this guy.
Also, we
I
don't
think
need
we
these
knew
scenes.
in
We
our
don't-
hearts.
Let's
it
say
was
it
just
again.
more fun.
We don't need this location or these scenes
No.
for any of this to work
Nope.
at all.
I know.
It does not affect anything.
Well,
Dude,
Well, it doesn't.
all you needed was a
the
line later.
satellite link in his car is the only thing.
But you could have said that anytime. You
Yeah.
could have said that's down at any time. You didn't need, like, to see
You're right.
who he was talking
No,
to.
it's true.
See Bagel Man talking to him on a FaceTime. Like, that's okay. So we see a guy.
Some dude.
Some dude. I told him.
Dude, God, this whole room is full of people who say nothing.
It's
They're
like fucking science
It's
jargon.
not-
They're
it's
like,
not-
check,
nonsense.
check the cyclonic numbers on that one. And the girl's like, somehow she impresses him with numbers.
Yeah, like we've
and,
got
like,
12 Dopplers. This shit is crazy.
We were all just like, what the hell is anyone saying right now?
this guy's either eating a fully uncut bagel or it might have cream cheese.
I couldn't tell. It looked like he was just
Still,
eating an uncut
when you eat a bagel with cream cheese, do you cut it, put cream
And
cheese
you
on
like
it, and
to
then put it
sandwich it
back
back?
together?
when you're on,
Well,
when
he's working, Tyler. He's got the world's weather at
He's
his
on a
fingertips.
diet, Bob. He was on a diet.
We don't know that
Can't
until
have
later.
carbs.
We didn't know that.
it happens in this scene by the end of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So he's
They're just talking about hurricanes. He's like, get those drones up in the air. The main character whose
Which
his
we
name's
never
Will,
saw.
He's like, get those drones in there so we can track this storm.
I love
and
it.
He like puts drones on the ground that just fly by themselves, apparently.
Which they aren't. I know what model of drones those are. Those do not fly by themselves. They are hand controlled.
Yeah, he just sets them on the
Take
ground.
that,
They fly
Hercules.
Yeah,
away.
hey, take that. Your inaccuracies.
Fuck.
And then he looks at the storm and gets a better prediction of the quality of this storm.
Yeah,
from looking at it.
it's a Cassandra moment.
Yeah.
said-
Well, he
He
said
says
he
it's-
can smell it.
Yeah, he says
He
it's
was
gonna
like,
be
"This is gonna be
terrible,
bad."
and Silver Spring was like, "But no."
Well, see, he's like Conan Barbarian. He was born of storms.
Well,
you
he
know,
was like, we
born
gotta
of battle. He's
Storm
born
born.
of storms.
He goes, we gotta evacuate this whole place, and he goes, I can't be bothering like the president and
president,
stuff
yeah.
with that. And he goes, well, I think you should.
I love the idea that
He's
the
also
national
driving-
weather guy has a direct line.
He's
to the
driving
president.
a
Like, yeah,
storm
sure you do.
tank, or as we learned the name later.
It should have been called a storm.
But he's
It was-
driving, as Tyler said, the storm
They
tank.
call it the Dominators. It's terrible.
Yeah,
name.
It looks like Zack Snyder's family's car or something. You know,
Yeah, that's why it looked like the Rumbler or whatever.
yeah, it
from
looked
Batman.
like Batman Begins Batmobile, but for weather.
It was weird.
Yeah. So he FaceTimes with him, and they're like, "Well, we're not gonna."
on the first of
well,
many
that's the weird
iPads.
thing. He says they're not.
Right.
He says they're
First
not
iPad
gonna,
scene.
He tells him he's not going to do it, but then the town is evacuated.
Right. It doesn't make sense
It
because
doesn't make any sense.
we cut to the town, which is like in
Well, didn't the
gridlock
sheriff
in
do
the.
that?
That,
Well, that's the sheriff's. The sheriff is giving a speech to his deputies, and you're like, "Is this the Old West? What is happening?"
Oh, yeah.
Because everyone's in gridlock in the town square, which looks like Hill Valley.
No, that was outside the town. The gridlock traffic.
Oh yeah,
He was just giving people
Well, people were
instructions
like
on how to
leaving.
evacuate.
People were
Yeah, yeah.
evacuating actively, and he was giving instructions.
But it looked
to
like
his-
he was standing in front of a saloon in Old West Town, like
right,
with
yeah.
his hands on his hips, like, all right, we'll rustle them out of the weeds and chase them into the caves
Right.
and kill them,
And
smoke
then-
them out.
and then we meet Irish guy and blonde
Well,
girl.
the road out of town is in pure gridlock.
Right,
Which doesn't
which
make
is
any
one
sense.
lane. It's a
Because
one
one
dirt
car
road.
is having engine troubles.
But
Like
the gridlock traffic is too. Everyone's facing the wrong. Like, there's people going one way,
It's also
and there's
on a
also
road
people
that's
going
like-
the other way,
in the
it's
middle
like
of nowhere.
you can drive around the cars because it's just on grass.
which
Yeah.
they do.
which they eventually.
Well, they
won't.
do. We meet the Irish man.
What is his fucking name?
I don't know. And the main woman.
Yes.
So, Perkins,
Storm woman.
Perkins,
Cars
and
Casey.
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 Yeah.
Casey and who?
Perkins
Perkins and Casey.
is
Casey-
Ralph Ineson's.
He has
character.
to remind us he's Irish for about 90 seconds.
He like quotes. He reminds us he's Irish
He quotes
by
Mark-
quoting Mark
Mark
Twain.
Twain.
I was like, "What the fuck are you doing, movie? This is crazy."
There aren't any Irish poets or anything. Come on.
yeah, too drunk over there. to rhyme ever. Right? It's fucked up.
I'm pretty sure the actor's Irish, though, right? Like, that's.
I think so. Just give him the benefit of the doubt. He vaguely has an
He's
accent.
English.
Yep.
All right.
Well.
That's appropriation.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure the Irish love that.
They're in the car.
At least he didn't have to affect an accent because he came here when he was 5.
Are they being funny? Is that what we would call
There's
that?
banter.
they're-
He's like, they're good.
They have rapport. They
They-
clearly
we
work
find
together.
out that they have to get the milk.
Yeah, they're
She
making a
says
milk
the
run.
milk to the station before. She says some weird.
I guess it's their lingo for being under. I mean, they're driving. They're full of millions of dollars, but
She
there's
calls it
nothing on
milk.
the outside. They're just green shrubs.
She calls it milk, and it has Gatling guns and money in the bag.
Yeah,
Yeah,
millions.
one of them's full of guns, and one of them's full of money, and one of them's. I imagine
And so, yeah, she's
two
like,
of them are probably full of money, and one's full of guns.
Well, they needed 3 trucks to get it out of there, so I assumed that they had 3 trucks full of money.
Yeah.
let me just.
but they show
okay,
the inside.
so now that
of the
we're
truck.
recording,
Okay.
let me just posit this to you guys because this is where my I didn't want to say it until right now.
Okay. Blow my
But
mind.
I mean, if this is an elaborate heist. I mean, like they've got a lot of people. We're not even going to talk about
They
who's
had to
involved.
wait
Well,
for a hurricane
Well, hold
to
on.
hit this one place.
Hold on. It's an elaborate heist, I mean, I understand the hurricane was supposed to provide cover, so there's that reasoning. But my first thought when we got to the end, I was like, "Hey, wait a minute." They were basically already in the trucks at the beginning with all the
With all
money
the money.
money in them. So,
Oh my god!
so what their plan.
And the cops were there.
I know. The plan was basically to drive it into into the government facility and then steal it again.
They could have just drove
the plan
it away.
They could have killed her and just drove. He could have drove away with that.
You know what? That's fucking insane. Well, I mean, he would have had to just murder her.
They worked a lot for all the other plan, right? They
Not everybody was in on it. That was.
But what I'm saying is all the time that went into.
But he could have. You're right.
All the time that went into planning the other version could have been like, well, we could just drive. We could be the drivers that take it to the facility. It's like
just escape this hurricane,
or just never go. I guess they were worried the government would just start following them quicker.
Yeah, but more people would know what happened and who did it.
But the town's in pure gridlock.
They had to do it under cover of hurricane.
See,
so
that's
what
if you knocked everybody out for a few hours, the hurricane would have already showed up. You know, I guess they would have pushed the button
if
already.
They just stayed stuck in traffic, and the hurricane hit, he could have just driven away.
Because the only reason they make it there is because she's a fucking asshole who literally bumps into the civilian car in front of her. And then goes through the cornfield to get out of there. If she didn't break the laws, they would have been stuck in traffic.
Dude, the movie
for like
went
3 hours.
But that's character building because the movie went out of your way to show that she was willing to destroy a civilian's property, but when she backs up, she gets really close to the other truck.
It doesn't hit it. Yeah,
she doesn't hit the federal truck,
and then just tears off through a cornfield.
But you're right though. If their plan is contingent.
Yeah, had he not let her drive away.
Yeah, had she not done that, his plan could keep going. Because they'd have to get to the facility by a certain time.
Before the storm
hit. So the fact that because he was even like, what are you doing? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, he should have been driving it off the road.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, he's like, no, we gotta get there
like,
so this thing I've been planning happens.
Right.
Before we all die!
A lot of this doesn't make sense.
No, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
He could have just planned better and hired all the people that were also driving the truck.
That's what I'm saying.
You're right.
There's all the planning that went into the other plan where you needed hackers and all this shit. It's like, but you already have the money outside of the locked down government facility.
You have it now.
So your plan is to let it go in there, get unpacked, and almost shredded, and
have to repack it.
I know. They spent time having to repack it.
The whole movie takes place over trying to get it out of the vault
thing
they
they
didn't
brought
need to put in.
It's amazing.
I mean, imagine that you've been hired to be. You're the hacker. Imagine, hold on, we're not that we're there yet, but imagine.
There's a mess now. I know it's a mess.
Because shit. Imagine you're the hacker. Some guy is
Fuck
like,
the Silver Spring shit. This is
we're gonna rob $600 million, and he's explaining the plan. And in the plan, he would have to say at some point, like, so I'll be driving it into the facility myself. I mean, wouldn't you like raise your hand?
Excuse me, if you can get that done even remotely, why don't we always focus our efforts on the drivers of the trucks originally? Why don't we turn them for a couple mil, and then we just...
You just make a fake body of yourself so it looks like you died also along with everybody else. You know what I mean? Like,
why didn't the screenwriter just put him in the fucking driver's seat? It would fix everything. She literally, if she didn't have the balls to do that, would have derailed all of the movie.
It's unreal.
Can't even.
They were also planning on the timing of a fucking hurricane. Like, you just like, well, it'll be there at 3:15. Like, how the fuck do you know how bad it'll be before you can't do shit anymore?
Can they smell it? Maybe.
How did they know? All right, God. I love this movie. It's so good.
Where were we?
They drive through the cornfield.
Right. They drive through the cornfield and get to the place.
Don't we cut to something else while they're driving through the cornfields?
They cut away to the
They
cornfield.
cut to the facility, right?
No, that's when when Will goes to visit his brother.
Because he does a
He's
sharp.
like, this
The Dominator does a sharp turn.
That's right.
He turns around. He drives back into, and that's when they showed the Gulfport sign, and we were all like.
That's not in Silver Spring.
Like, what is that?
Because it was the Gulfport. Because it also had the Gulfport Festival. Remember?
Yeah. Like, what is this?
Where is this place? It's a good thing none of us know anything about Alabama. So
he drives to like a towing company.
Yeah,
it looked like.
Yeah, his brother's a tow truck driver.
Yeah, or a mechanic. Well,
his brother followed in his father's
also
footsteps.
a bit of a Lothario.
And drunk.
Yeah,
And
and
an
drunk.
alcoholic, absolutely.
'Cause
His breakfast is instant coffee
In
poured into
whiskey.
With whiskey.
Disgusting.
I'm pretty sure that almost killed Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Was it instant coffee or was it just coffee grounds?
I don't know.
It'd be
man.
better if it was
think
just
it was
coffee
instant
grounds.
coffee. I think it was instant coffee. Because why else would you do that?
Oh my god, that's
I don't know why you would do it at all.
Yeah, his brother finds.
I kinda wanna
his
try
brother
it.
finds panties, and he's like appalled by it. Like, dude,
He's like,
Yeah.
you
Oh.
you
He
haven't
was like,
seen it
what
for
was
years.
her name? And he's like, Jaguar.
Jaguar.
Are you fucking kidding me?
And they haven't seen each other for like 5 years.
It's been 5 years. He goes, didn't you get all the money and plane tickets I sent you? And he's like, yeah, keep your fucking bullshit. And he, like, hands him all these like things back. And he's like, I don't want your fucking
Your charity.
shit. I don't need you to save it. Shove it up
And
your
they're
ass.
and he
And
tells
he's
them,
like, you're gonna die if you stay here.
and he's like, there's a storm coming. He's like, is it like the one that killed Pa?
Yeah.
He's like, it's gonna be worse.
I feel like at times people just talk like it's like
Oh,
Wizard of Oz all of a sudden.
yeah, we skipped over that when the sheriff was giving his speech. He explains that he was like, this town was wiped off the earth 26 years ago, and we've rebuilt it, and he was like, it's gonna happen again. He was basically run for like, get the fuck out of here. It's gonna happen again.
Maybe we shouldn't have rebuilt.
Yeah,
I
probably
don't know.
shouldn't have rebuilt this place.
Yeah, that's a lot of work for nothing. Well,
God.
We should move maybe after
Yeah.
this one.
But God, just think about a town is completely demolished in 1992.
right.
And that's how they rebuilt it. What we saw, all
Well, it
these
looks like a
one
fucking-
story, like 400 square foot
Well, they
buildings.
can't build
Everything was so fucking
skyscrapers.
small.
They can't build skyscrapers, man. They can't commit.
The beach looked nice.
Why would you live in a hurricane?
Yeah.
Why would you live in a hurricane alley? You know what I mean? Like,
Gotta live somewhere.
but the hellish torture of guessing whenever something's to suck your whole life up.
Maybe
and
so
kill
you
your
could
whole
get
family.
Maybe so you could get one of the 10 jobs
Yeah.
at this federal facility responsible for destroying old money,
Right.
which is
By the
apparently
way,
all it
that's,
takes.
yeah, we're gonna learn
We'll
that's
get
what they're
that. All right,
doing.
but
but
hold on. So his brother, so Will is talking to
Yeah,
Reese,
Benny's
his
with those
brother.
jobs.
Will goes, there's a storm coming. Reese says, is it like the one that killed Dad, trying to like unsettle him? He goes, it's worse. And then he goes, yeah, well, I'm still not leaving. And he goes, but you're going to die if you don't leave. And he goes, why don't you help me board up the windows? And he goes, and then he's like, all right.
His apartment is basically made of glass too, in a garage.
What? Every time they talk to each other, I was like, I don't want, these brothers
it's
are,
awful.
They're horrible.
The main guy is he's been okay in other movies, but he's really bad
What
in
else
this
is
movie.
he in?
I mean, he was in like the new Kong movie. He actually played Kong, and he was a soldier. He was fine.
Okay.
He's been in other movies.
Dude.
Yeah, he did the mocap for Kong, but
Skull Island?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But in this, it's like he's almost dumbfounded the whole time. And I don't know. It's just terrible.
Their accents and they're just bad actors. And the other brother is somebody from True Blood, you said?
Yeah, he was the brother on True Blood, who is basically the same character that he plays in this movie. Just a drunk Southern.
How far are we fall
whore.
from Dragonheart?
Started so promising.
Yeah, come on, Rob.
So they start boarding up the house. Then we go back. That's when they're inside the facility.
And the shredder is broken.
No. God, we also see... there's so many
It's a mess because we
There's
go
so
back
many characters.
to
We also
Silver
see
Spring
the people
thing.
loading up. No. We see the people on the antenna. We see the two people hanging. From
Oh yeah,
the
they're loading
antenna,
up their
the black
their
woman
hacking
and
devices
yeah.
some of the other
or
people,
whatever.
and the fucking guy with the gap in his teeth is like in a van, being like, "Is it all hooked up?"
The amount of characters
God,
in this movie
yeah, there's
is
so many fucking
absurd.
When the
I couldn't even remember the main character's name.
Right.
If they were, well, they lived, so.
we
guess
also
they-
saw that was happening. It was somebody doing something with an antenna, and we didn't know what was going on.
There's shenanigans
Then
afoot.
we're
We need
inside
to
the
establish the
facility.
antenna, though.
We meet
Yeah.
what's his name?
Perkins? No.
Madero.
The blue shirt guy.
Yeah, the guy in the blue shirt.
He is such a bland character. I don't.
Oh my god.
He almost
Dude,
could have.
everyone in this movie
He could have
sucks at
dissipated into
Moreno.
air. I wouldn't even have noticed.
Moreno.
He was so not even present as a character. It's amazing.
Was he in
Thank you for
charge?
saving
Like,
my
was he the
life.
boss?
Who
Was he her
knows?
partner?
I think
He was the guy there that wasn't turned. That's who he was.
Yeah, I think he
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
the boss. He was like the manager.
He's the facility manager.
Yeah.
He's the branch manager.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
So
He told people to do stuff, and he's like, they bring in the money, and he's like, well, the shredder's broken. And they're like, well, what are we supposed to do with all this money? He's like, well, just unload it, and we got people coming that are gonna fix the shredder. That's when we meet the hackers.
Yeah, that's when we find out all this money
who
is
they
going to be
think are
destroyed.
who Moreno thinks are good.
Yeah, he thinks
Yeah,
they're
they
there
show
to
up
fix
in
the
the-
shredder.
Fix the shredder.
He's like,
Hack
no.
the shredder.
Which
Well,
they've already they hacked it before,
hacked
which is
it
why
weeks
it's
ago.
broken.
Yeah.
And then they're also there to fix it.
But we don't know.
We don't know that
No,
yet.
we don't
These
know
are just
that.
two. I mean, they wanted
There
them
are
to
two
be,
people that look like they're going to an LA cocktail party.
Yes.
They look like shredder repairmen to me.
It's so weird because the movie
Oh,
doesn't
girl.
like make some kind of classist remark or anything. But the guy's like, you're freaks, and it's like, oh, there was a problem with how they were dressing?
Yeah,
Like,
what? You didn't say anything before.
oh,
He's
it's
wearing
Alabama.
a
It's probably
suit.
because we didn't know like Alabama versus.
I guess that woman was dressed weird to be in Alabama.
I
That's-
guess
They should have been dressed even weirder. Like they should have had like weird hats on or something. I don't know.
Like, yeah,
You know?
piercings.
Yeah,
Something.
yeah, like a Tim Burton look or
Yeah.
something.
they,
yeah.
they didn't like stick out
not
that
enough.
much. Not enough.
She was wearing
yeah.
a cocktail dress for some reason, but
And heels.
yeah, but it didn't stand out enough that it's like they're
Huh?
freakishly out of place.
Her gun was turquoise. That was kind of
Well,
weird.
that
They're
eventually was
standing in a
weird.
sterile, like concrete facility. It wasn't like they were in a barn. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, the contrast is terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, I
So they
can't
go to fix the shredder.
They're like, we're gonna fix the shredder.
The
in 3
shredder,
hours.
right,
And
okay.
then the fucking
Casey has that call with that guy on her first iPad.
Jesus Christ. She calls her superior, and she gets mild. I couldn't tell. What was it? Was she like apologetic for something that happened?
Some
She made some
she
sort
made
of
a mistake.
decision, and someone died because of it, and she's sort of like been demoted because of it. Or
Wasn't he in
something?
like a war zone? Like
Dude,
I just
that
he's just
guy-
in a war zone holding up a giant iPad having a conversation with this with this woman.
the iPad?
Yeah.
I've never
There's so
seen.
many
You know what?
iPads.
I'll give this movie. I've never seen that done. I've never seen like it had coverage and everything. Like it had over the show OTS shots of the iPad FaceTime,
Yeah.
and then back to her. Like she was talking to a human head on an iPad, and it was
they
filmed
shot
like
it
like a human head was there.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean,
Think about
and
that.
the great thing is too. I don't know why, but it was almost like metaphorical. Like she's standing in.
God, when she turned
she's standing in a
around-
hallway made of money.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
Which
surrounded
is
by
really, and it's like there's all this money, and then you're like, there's a human being talking to a FaceTime. It's great.
But he basically
Way to
says
go,
to
Rob
her,
Cohen.
he says,
breaking
The
barriers.
juxtaposition there is Kubrickian. I can't believe it.
This movie's
The
deeper than we
gist-
all thought.
Yeah.
the gist of it is that that she's not in the best standing, and then he tells her that $600 million is your responsibility until it's destroyed, is what he says.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why she wants to protect it so bad, I guess.
It's another thing too. This is money that is going to a facility to be destroyed.
I've never cared so
Not only
little
did-
about the outcome of a MacGuffin in a movie. Like it's just.
But the villains, like their plan is
gonna-
like
it's garbage. Essentially, they're
I
trying
know,
to steal
no,
garbage.
But their plan is to let the garbage get to the place where it's supposed to be destroyed first before trying
Yeah.
to heist it. And they had control of it before
We
it
got
got
it.
there.
God.
It's awesome. How, like, why would no one writing this realize that? There's no reason that Perkins had to be in that fucking truck. She could have met him when she got there. You know what I mean? Like
Him being in the
him being in that truck is maddening.
Yeah, he should have just worked.
None of the
facility.
villains should have ever touched those incoming trucks. They should have. The plan should have started there from a writing standpoint.
well, that's what gave the impact to his ultimate betrayal.
did it? Is
no,
that
no,
really
it
that big of
didn't.
a
But I'm
twist?
sure that's what the writer was thinking.
Okay,
Man.
it's great.
He
I
failed.
love it.
I
don't know where
what
are
the
we?
fuck happened.
No, then that's when she asks him if she can change the vault's password, and he goes,
Yeah.
"All right."
And she
And
pulls
she's
out
like,
another
okay.
iPad.
Then she
a
pulls out
different
an
one.
additional iPad.
Well, yeah.
He puts it in the wall and like changes
Dude, there's
the
like
password.
an iPad setup where she sticks it on it and like gently goes into the wall and becomes like, and it has all these graphics like lightning and shit shooting out. What?
And you're like, why is this part of a vault door? Why the fuck is that?
What
part
if the
of a vault door?
iPad breaks? Can you
Dude,
not
it
get
scanned
in
her
there?
eyeball
Yeah.
and her fingerprint, and then
An
more
iPad.
light show. Like, what the fuck is that? Weird.
So she changes the
She didn't
password.
use the iPad to do those other two things.
No, she
either.
didn't.
There was
She just plugged it
another
in and it did it.
computer
Yeah, I
interface
know.
built into the wall.
That's
that
what I
did all that
said.
other stuff.
When I said this, why is there so many iPads in this movie? Because I was like, there's these panels already, and she puts the iPad in there and then types into it. I was like, but there's touch screens already right there. Why did her iPad have to be hooked to it?
So good. Ah, man, it's
And
been
it's
great.
so amazing.
Say this is why I like weather movies, because there's dumb shit like this in it. There's always weird technology and dumb fucking.
Yeah, because
nonsense.
weather movies have to be high tech.
Yeah, there's always
Yeah.
technology.
Of course.
in them. It's great.
Yeah.
Because science, which is the only reason.
Right,
anybody would
weather
be
and
near
science
one.
and gadgetry somehow go together.
I mean-
Why else would you be near a fucking hurricane?
Yeah, there's never a weather movie of people just like running from a storm, you know? We always need like the government and shots of like the Pentagon talking about
somebody's
it.
got to study it because it's
Right.
what you do.
I just want to point out that you can hear all the dialogue in Twister. I mean, so it's a feasible thing.
I know what happened in that movie.
I'm saying it's a feasible thing to make a hurricane movie or a
this
tornado
hurricane
movie.
gets up to
and
the speed
here.
of the hurricane on
On Jupiter.
On Jupiter,
Yeah.
you said. So who fucking knows, man? I mean, they were just like, we have to
if that
emphasize
was
how
true-
big of a storm this is. Just forever.
If that's true, if it was moving at 600 miles per hour, no one can even breathe. You can't breathe in that speed wind,
Dude,
okay?
it's not, I mean, there's scenes where people are like struggling against
I
wind
know,
while
I know.
cars
Ours
are
are-
flying
yeah, I
around.
know.
You're just
I
like,
know.
what kind of sense does that make?
Well, they have a lower profile. You know,
Car!
they have a smaller frame.
Dude, nonsense. That's when she's talking to Moreno again, and then the generator blows.
Mm-hmm.
Because she has to leave the building.
And then
She goes to get the
well,
She's
she
like,
has to go get somebody to repair
Reese.
the generator.
So, and it turns out to be Reese,
the brother.
the drunk brother.
while
So
the
she leaves to go do that.
while the main character is what's his name?
Will.
Will is repairing the storm windows.
Yeah. Before she leaves, though, she ditches the magic iPad key in a big vat of already shredded money.
Why?
Why? Because she's smelled something.
Oh, because the phones also went out.
Yeah.
And then she leaves to go do that, and then a van with the gap tooth guy we saw earlier shows up.
Right.
And he's like, hey, we're here to fix the phones. We were called by this guy. And the dude's just like, nah, you're not coming in.
Yeah.
Not
yeah.
happening. They shut him down enough to the point that
Oh God.
they pull out guns and start shooting tiny darts into
Real
people.
guns that
No,
shoot
these
darts.
are 6-shooters.
Yeah,
like,
it was
like
like a-
revolvers that shoot darts. Never seen that in my life in
It
a
was
movie.
like a magnum
Yeah.
that shot a tiny ass dart.
It's like
into that
Billy the
guy's
Kid
neck.
was shooting these people with darts.
You definitely pistol whip somebody to death with that
It was
hand
big,
cannon.
and it shot a dart into the guy's neck, and then they proceeded to just blast these fucking guards with darts. Like just
Start 'em
fuck
up.
them all up, and get inside.
While they're being
Because-
shot at with real bullets.
Yeah,
Because Perkins says right after that happens that they wanted a no-kill.
well, we're not there yet.
Are we not?
Reveal
Oh.
the Perkins, because they're breaking
Spoilers.
in. They're breaking in, and everybody's like wigging out, and they're just fucking darting everybody. Which, God, it was insane. They were
There's so
shooting,
much darting.
They were shooting darts into people wearing body armor over multiple layers of like army fatigues and clothes. And
My
undershirts.
thought is that it's as powerful as a bullet coming out.
Maybe that's why they needed
But
the
if you
regular
had
guns.
a dart that shot out of a gun that's powerful as a bullet, it's basically a bullet.
Yeah, why aren't you
You know what
just
I mean?
shooting spikes through them?
Yeah, I
because
know. If you shot someone in the neck with that, it would just go through
their head, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a good point. If it was going
Why
through
did they
a
look like
fucking
guns?
vest,
You couldn't get dart guns?
man.
It's such a
They had,
weird
like,
choice.
rifles too, like fully automatic rifles
Right.
and hand.
What a weird choice for like props.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
No, nothing. Yeah, it's really stupid.
So
Yeah,
they
It's
get
really
in.
stupid. They get inside, and then we see that Perkins flips.
Yeah,
He darts
it's
two
Perkins the
people.
mastermind.
Yeah.
The Irish guy from the truck earlier. He turns.
Don't
and
trust
they
the
start
Irish.
taking over the whole place. Moreno's locked in an office with the hacker people,
Under bulletproof glass.
and he's like, "Don't worry, this is bulletproof glass. We'll be safe." And then he turns around, and they're like pointing guns at him. I think. And he's like, "Fucking shit."
Right, the hackers are evil.
Yeah.
And that's when he calls
You
them
freaks.
freaks.
You freaks.
I knew there was something with you freaks. I was like, but they didn't do anything.
You're not wearing overalls.
You
You
use
fucking
use
fancy
computers.
pants. Computer
You love
wearing
them
city dwellers.
computers. Those will never go anywhere.
This is Silver Spring, Maryland. We don't take kindly to you city folk.
God.
It wasn't Silver Spring, Maryland. It was Alabama.
Yeah. So disappointing.
And it is really. Both facilities looked identical, though.
That's
They were
true.
just big concrete buildings. Anyway.
Now we're seeing
Yeah.
Casey meet Reese and Will. And
Yeah, then they're boarding up the house and Casey
And-
comes by.
yeah, and Reese leaves with Casey and leaves Will to just keep boarding up his house.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Even though he thinks everyone is going to be destroyed by this storm.
Yeah.
No,
He's
he
helping
he
him board
knows
up
that
his
it's like a world killer. Like it's gonna just turn into like a vacuum that destroys everything it
It's
touches.
just gonna
at some
wipe
point.
Alabama off the face of the
Right.
earth.
Yeah.
But he's nailing up some boards, and they leave. But he tells them where he's going,
Right.
because then on the way back, it starts raining right there.
It's heavy rain.
It
Yeah.
starts
It starts raining
really
heavy.
fucking
Yeah.
hard right then.
God,
and
what
there.
happens next?
They go back to the shredding place, right?
No, they don't know, because
Right.
dude, they figure out something's up before they get back. I thought. No, you're right. They drive to the shredding place. She sees the guard tower or the guard station all shot up. Because they threw like a concussion grenade in there.
Yeah.
blasted
No,
all
it
the
blasted
windows.
the hell out
Yeah.
of it. Right. Yeah.
So she goes to check in on that, and she's like, "This is fucked. Where something weird's going on." And then like a green and red laser,
Yeah. It comes down on
like
her.
train
Right.
on her.
No, you're right.
And they're like, "Oh no!" She picks him up. They talk in the car. Because it has to cut back to the facility for them to realize Moreno opens the like outside of the vault door, but then when the hackers go to open the vault door, they're like, somebody changed.
We
the
can't
code,
get in
what the
there.
fuck? And then,
Oh, yeah.
and that's when Moreno's like, the only person that could have done it was Casey, and she left to go get.
Like, we
that.
could still get in, but we have to restart hacking it from the beginning.
Yeah, so they know she's headed.
Which is
back,
gonna
so
take
that's,
The first
2
of,
hours.
First of many hacks.
It takes. She's like, it could
Yeah.
take 3. And he's like 2. And she's like, yeah, we can do it in 2.
and they start working on hacking.
We're not in a
but
rush.
They know,
And he's
in a
like,
rush?
get to it. Right.
but
Get
they
to
know
it.
she's gonna come back.
Right.
So that's why those guys were out there waiting in the storm. But anyway, they got their guns trained on them. But I guess they don't know that Reese is in the car or something. He gets in the driver's seat, drives up, like blocks their shot. She jumps in the car.
They're using real guns at this point.
Yeah, she takes some shots. No, they never actually fired at her.
She
I
has a
think.
real gun.
She shot at them
Oh.
with her real gun.
With her
And
RoboCop gun.
Then they hop in the car and they drive away. But the people in the security system like put the
Oh yeah, the
what do you call them?
pylons, yeah.
Like raise the pylons out of
Pylons
the
are-
ground, and the
right.
car smashes into him.
He had plenty of time to stop him.
Yeah,
pretty
he
sure.
definitely could have stopped. And
it rolls a few times.
No, it just smashed into it, and they get
That's
out.
later.
Yeah,
Oh, that's later. Okay.
That's with the spikes on the Dominator.
Right, the Dominator
When it
spikes.
transforms.
Right.
they just run away. I think
Yeah. They
They
go
have-
to get.
they have to eventually end up at the police station.
Right.
But Reese gets in there somehow. Is that after
Oh, they
the mall?
take Reese. That's what it is. They catch Reese,
Yeah.
and she gets away.
Right.
And she goes to the police station, right?
Yes, that's right.
And then
Does she
well,
meet
she
up with
He
Will
does,
first?
he does something to distract
God
them
damn it.
enough that she's able to get away, but he gets caught.
it's her and Will. Who's the main character?
Will.
Will. Her and Will show up.
Nope.
No.
Will shows up while she's being attacked by those guys.
Yeah, later.
And he takes her away
No,
from the facility.
It should be
right?
noted that
No.
people are like teleporting all over this town.
yeah.
That
should be
what it is.
noted.
Okay.
That,
Well, it's only
that's,
like
they
2
grab-
streets.
yeah.
They grab Reese at the end of where the car crashed. She runs away, and the other guy chases her. And that's when Will sees her in a gunfight in the middle of the downtown area.
right.
And he's like, what the fuck? But he recognizes her, so he rushes over and she hops in. And they drive away from that.
And they shoot the satellite dish off of his,
Oh, yeah.
off of his armored car.
He shoots the satellite. The bad
dish.
guy shot the satellite.
so
dish
he
off
can
the
no
car.
longer talk to Silver Spring, Maryland.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Where they are.
Right. And that's important because
It
now
is.
that means that's cut off.
Yeah, that was the last.
'Cause they were being
there's no
really
more
helpful.
phones in the town.
Right.
Everyone's cell phones are not working because of the storm.
There would be landlines from a government facility. It wouldn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they have to have ways to communicate.
It'd be landlines.
They hacked the phones.
Yeah, it's true.
They hacked they hacked
So
the
this is the-
phones.
that's the- this is the car
shredder,
chase part.
which is hooked up to the internet for some
The
reason.
Dominator is being chased. Oh, right.
That's a good point.
Well, no. The two of them now, without the satellite on the Dominator, go to the police station to meet the sheriff,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, because they're like, we gotta get
And he's like,
a
"Oh,
line of communication out.
oh
of here."
God, come on inside.
No, they don't. I don't think. Yes, never mind. You're right.
Come on inside.
He,
We'll
like-
talk about it." And he, like, while they're talking, he walks into another room.
No, they follow him into his office, and he's like, they explain everything they know about what's going on, and then he's like, well, I guess there's only one thing to do about that, and he grabs a shotgun, but then he points it at them.
Whoa!
He knocks the thing out of
I-
her hand too. The gun
But
out of
he's
her
such
hand.
everybody's so bad at acting. When he pointed the shotgun at
great.
them, I was still kind of like, wait, what's happening? And then it showed like their response, and I was like, they're not helping me at all. That guy's just made out of wood. He's just
And the movie doesn't like have.
he's looked like that the whole movie.
There's no audio cue, or there's no like dun dun dun.
Yeah.
There's none of that or anything cheesy.
Was there music in any of this?
I don't know.
It's just a storm noise.
Yeah, it's just wailing. It's wailing like a
It was
banshee over the
nature's
moor.
music, Tyler. Just singing.
Because at that point, yeah,
It's nature metal.
she goes, "You're in on it too," and he's like,
I'm tired of. He's
"He's like, I'm tired of watching them drive truckloads of money through our tiny or through this shithole." And
Yeah.
it was when we still thought it was Silver Spring. We were
right,
like, what the
It
hell?
still wasn't a shithole though. Like as
It was
is,
only 26 years old.
no,
Everything
as
was
is,
new
it was
and
kind of nice.
Yeah.
It looked
So
quaint.
he says he's tired of watching the money pass through the town without getting any a piece.
Yeah.
And she's
which again is garbage. That's going to be shred.
right.
It's still money though.
So she dies for
Is
her
it?
gun.
Don't they like mark it or something so that like the
Clearly
serial number,
not,
so-
because I mean,
I think they just throw out
Yes!
money.
they would definitely have the serial numbers.
Yeah.
That would be cataloged. I would
Right.
assume.
Yeah.
I assume.
I would think.
I don't know how they
Probably just put it in a
destroy-
machine.
She dies for her gun and shoots him in the arm.
Wait, what? Isn't that?
Wait.
No, that's the hacker gets shot in the arm later.
No.
Did somebody
no,
get?
no.
Did two
No.
people get shot in the arm?
Yes. She dies for her gun that's on the floor and shoots him in the arm. He's in an arm cast later, remember?
No.
Oh,
he
the
breaks his
sheriff.
arm. He breaks his
Oh,
arm.
okay.
Yeah.
She shoots the shotgun out of his hand.
Yeah.
She like
Oh,
shoots
okay.
the side
I'm,
of the shotgun.
I'm meshing that whole
and
scene
then
together.
Will
Sorry.
like tackles him over his desk, and they run out
Right, because that starts the car
Car
chase.
because they get in a car, and the sheriff and a deputy get in a car, and are
The
chasing
deputy
them.
out of nowhere.
And yeah, just fucking some dude shows up. Because I remember I was being
Yeah.
like, "Who the fuck?"
Who's
that
that
car
guy?
pulls up and like he's like, "Get in, we'll chase him." I was like,
It
"Who
was
the
one-
fuck are you, and why
it
do you
was
know
one-
what's going on?"
It was one of the other goons from the shredding place. Was
Yeah,
it?
it
I
was.
think so.
It was
Okay.
somebody who was. It was the guy who was working on the tower with the black lady.
It was that. Wasn't it that guy's brother? I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
the
Yes,
Gaptooth
it
guy's
was
brother.
A
Jesus.
Gaptooth's brother.
Yeah, Gaptooth.
Brother Gaptooth.
Man.
This
Little Gaptooth.
super boring car chase happens.
But
dominant-
that's
Which
where-
is amazing because there's a giant armored SUV basically going through town, and it's still boring.
It's
somehow.
so boring.
Yeah. It's so stupid that the guy goes, "Do you trust me to be even dumber?" And she's like, "Well, I don't even know what's going on."
It says put on my like not. They're like
harness.
Yeah,
harnesses.
It's like a
Strap
crash
in.
harness.
They both put on their crash harnesses.
Like it's about to go Voltron.
He
or something.
stops
Dude,
completely.
I was hoping. I
Me
was like,
too.
man, if it turns into a mech and he just turns around and like, karate chops the car behind him.
This movie can still
Gundam,
save
yeah.
itself.
So the Dominator can, because it's a storm tank,
has like spikes that
go into this ground and
keep
hold
it
it steady during it. Yeah, like a storm could go over top of it. And the other car
you can take a nap.
slams right into the back of it,
goes
flies
sailing.
sailing through a bunch of like circus tents or whatever the fuck that was. Like
I don't know what
a
it was.
popcorn tent? I don't know what that
They
was.
were by the beach.
Yeah, they were by the beach.
But it was a tent in the middle of a damn
hurricane.
hurricane.
Like, it should have already been down.
Gone,
yeah.
yeah.
There was no consistency to the strength
They
of
roll
that
over like
hurricane.
10 times. Those guys. So she's like, "Oh man, they're out." So she gets, "Give me the gun." He's like, "That's not loaded. Like they don't know that."
We forgot about that. Before that gunfight, she was firing 1,000,000 bullets, and there was a point where you were like, how many bullets are in her fucking gun? This is ridiculous. And then she runs out of bullets, and she goes, I ran out of bullets. And he goes, God, this dialogue. He goes, well, how'd that happen? And then she goes,
Yeah.
I shot them all. It's just like, dude, what?
What did you think
need
happened
to
to them?
say that out loud? Like, God damn, man.
That's why it's
Wait
so
till we get to
good.
the peanut butter. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I can't.
fucking-
Angered me.
Dude, the scenes between the two of them are outrageous. Them talking
It's
is
awful.
such a waste of time.
It is. It's terrible. So the other guys are. She gets out of the car, goes over, and basically tiptoes, takes the gun out of his lap,
He's like assault rifle.
and they're still.
His arm's broken.
Yeah,
His arm's
sheriff's arm
broken.
is totally snapped.
And they drive away, and then the Irish guy's like, what the fuck's going on? And they're like, we're fucked up. Sheriff's arm's broken. Come and get
Go
us.
get us.
And he's like, all right, I'll send people out to get you.
They're leaving this facility constantly.
And then
It's amazing how much they leave the facility. I mean, seriously, think about it.
Right.
It's like
crazy.
they're not just there heisting.
No, most of it's like people waiting there for other people outside to do stuff.
Yeah.
So, where are we? This is
So
when
after that, I know what happens with them after that is that they make the plan to go take out the cell phone tower.
Yes, that's great.
But
But I think it cuts back to the shredding place for a Reese scene before that of him.
Yes.
well, they bring him in, right?
They bring him in, they fuck with him, and then send him to the basement to fix the
Yeah,
generator.
they
Fix
send
the
him
generator, and he's like, he notices that there's people locked up and there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Even though he knew
Well,
something was
I
wrong,
mean,
they're
yeah,
already
I'm pretty sure he
kidnapping
knew,
him.
When he
yeah.
saw where the
Yeah.
where
After
all
the gun battle.
Right.
where all the
Right.
where all the army
Well,
guys
he's drunk.
were.
Who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
he didn't realize it.
He saw
He
where
has a
all
flask
the
on
army
him.
guys were.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't pat him down.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, because he had lock picking tools on him. Jesus fucking
What was,
Christ.
yeah, wait, what was that one thing he was doing with the? He was like fucking with something on the wall. I figured he was doing some kind of subterfuge, and then they just because it wasn't on the
Because
generator.
it just ends with him drinking, but that
No,
scene
no,
didn't
no.
matter. It doesn't matter.
He's fixing the generator, but also
Trying to.
unlocking a door.
he was.
Well, we don't know
Yeah,
what,
because he
what
eventually
exactly that
escapes.
door was to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
we don't really
Whatever,
know.
man.
I didn't know what he was doing.
So
I think that's all that happens.
I'm
in
pretty
that
sure
scene.
we go to the Reese stuff is set up. They'll probably show the hackers again, like almost getting there.
They're like, oh, we finally got to see.
Oh yeah,
this
they're
started.
cracking
Right.
the numbers.
Something.
They've
They mumbled something.
Yeah, right. So then we're back with
Now-
Will and Casey.
Yeah, we found out that they can only do this. They're hacking because they also hacked this cell phone
Cell
tower,
phone tower, yeah.
which they're gonna tear down.
So Will and Casey,
even though it's a giant freestanding structure
and this is
in the
this-
middle of a fucking hurricane.
That conversation has one of the most confusing lines in this movie, like I was talking about before, where he goes, this city, he's like, this town just got out of 1940, so there's probably only a few cell phone towers around. Or there's only 2 cell phone towers around. It's like, you can't literally rebuild a town in 1992 and have it be still...
from 1940,
From
it would be everything would be new.
Yes, everything would be brand new for 26 years.
the mentality.
Yeah,
I guess.
I guess, but it's like...
So this,
It's still segregated, and
yeah.
No, that is super true. There's one black person in this movie, and she's a bad guy.
there's 2.
Yeah, there is.
There's 2 goons.
Oh, you're right.
There's
They're
a
both
woman
bad
and a
Not
guy.
exactly
They're both bad guys.
Yeah.
progressive there,
Anyway.
but
No.
this is the scene where Casey and Will have
Everyone
their
is
banter.
a white male
Yeah.
with a
This is
redneck
where
accent.
Casey and Will get to know each other in the most awful conversation we could barely hear.
Oh yeah.
Where they're like joking with each other. He's telling her about her father.
Yeah,
His
his father
father-
died. They just met, by the
And
way.
then she's like, "Yeah, I've let somebody die."
Yeah, that's...
Never hear
And
about it
she
again.
still doesn't really explain it.
Nope.
No,
She
it's-
just goes, "Yeah, I'm
it's
responsible
whatever.
for a person's death."
Right, and so then they come up
And
with
I
the
never
idea
speak about it.
to fill the. Well, no, they haven't. They come. They got to take out the tower.
They're
They're
gonna,
like,
yeah, they're gonna.
if we can stop the tower, we can
Jesus
stop
Lord.
the hacking,
Yeah,
so they can't change the code.
the hackers will be
one-
powerless.
One of the things that makes this car look so fucking stupid is that it is covered in lights.
Yeah,
It's
got
like littered with them. They're all over the fucking thing. They're bright as shit and they're
Yeah.
everywhere. So when they're hooking up, like,
So he has to climb up a building to take the winch up there to hook it to the tower, so that she can back the tower down.
Yeah, in
with
the
the
middle
car.
of a
Yeah,
hurricane.
she'll
In the
rip
middle of
tower
a
down.
hurricane.
That they need to rip down a tower that's sticking above a building during like it
It's
was
gonna go
come
down anyway.
the plan. Everyone's plan is so stupid.
Even though
Yeah.
it was standing, how is it still working at all? Can you get a fucking Dish Network signal in a rainstorm?
No.
Somehow that thing is working in the middle of this shit show.
It's like a world record breaking hurricane, and they're still getting
Category
the satellite.
5. That's like
Yeah,
it doesn't
Well,
get.
he's saying it's probably actually bigger than that.
Yeah.
Well,
So
we haven't gotten to that. That's-
he's up there mid hanging on this thing. He's like halfway falling off of it, and then the bad guys teleport into there. I say teleport.
Was he even wet after that?
He was pretty not as wet as he should have been. But that's when the bad guys show up,
Yeah.
and they're
Well,
roaming.
that's
They're
he
roaming
tells her,
around.
Hold on, this is great.
And he's like yelling at her, and we're like, because we're already complaining, you can't hear
You
anything.
can't hear anything.
And he's like,
characters can't hear each other.
Well, we also skipped when he explains his plan.
Yeah.
As he's explaining his plan, he opens the door to the car. Like, it's already loud when they're in the
yeah.
storm tank.
Yeah.
Then he opened the fucking door while he hadn't finished talking. And it just went from like instantly. It was just like,
Dude,
why did
just
you do
stop
that?
opening things.
But then
He's screaming to turn the lights off. That's what he was doing.
because
Yeah, 'cause
they
they're
the
driving
truck
by.
that
they're
picked
they're
up the
roaming around
sheriff-
looking for the
No, the truck that picked up
of
the
the
sheriff
sheriff.
was headed back.
and the Gaptooth brother.
And no, the brother of Gaptooth.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah,
brother of
Gaptooth. It's important because it's one of the best scenes in the movie.
Oh, boy.
is coming.
Fuck yes.
So they're
it is.
roaming around the streets looking for them, and they're like, he's like, turn the lights off, and she can't hear him, but she guesses at the
Right.
right second
Somehow.
to turn it off, and then the sheriff's like, wait a minute.
No, she turns them on a bunch
Yeah,
of.
she
She
just-
like
'cause she
doesn't
doesn't
know
know
what
what the
starts
fuck
a
she's
raid
doing.
for a second and then turns them off.
Yeah, the sheriff notices.
He goes, somebody's over there. Let's get over there.
So
they're
then
scrambling to get this tower.
he gets out of the way of the tower like just barely, and she does the
before all
backup
this,
thing.
the wind happens.
Oh my god!
Where a gust of wind blows him off the tower,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
he's just like dangling from the rope. It's so good.
First of several times that'll
Yeah,
happen.
he is the ragdoll humans in the wind shit is so awesome. It's just people flapping in the wind like a flag.
he's just loose.
Fucking great, man.
So they're not.
But that shot was like awkwardly
It was
long. Where
really
you had
long.
to watch it happen.
Yeah,
It was fucking awesome.
So the plan is not to winch down this thing. It's to give a bunch of slack, and then she's gonna back the Dominator up at full speed to rip it down.
Get it down as fast as possible because the countdown, they're about to get to the last parts of the sequence.
Right.
While this
So
is
now,
happening.
yeah, the hackers set up the like thing that's a countdown clock or whatever that.
No,
was.
it's like a grid filling up
It,
with the
dude,
correct
it was a
answers,
thing that just was
whatever.
visually like once it gets here, it's done.
They did some
Hacking
like
finished.
hexadecimal shit to figure out
right.
the code.
It doesn't matter. And so as that's happening, it starts. She does the backup thing,
Yeah,
and it
they
starts
tear it
ripping. But it's a slow process.
It takes two
He's
yanks.
still on the tower while she's doing it
Yeah,
too.
he's like climbing down the side of the building as it's happening.
She finally rips it off the top of the building, and then everybody in the other truck just starts shooting at them.
yeah.
Right. He finally
happens?
well, the storm picks up and cars are starting to flow around and move.
Yeah.
They're walking in the streets.
just walking
humans. They're smaller than cars.
Shooting bullets, just like bang, walking
weren't-
down the street. While
They weren't
cars-
like Civics either. They were like fucking big
Full-size
big boats.
cars.
Yeah,
Man.
big boat.
Oh yeah, that huge boat
1970s
smashed.
cars.
Boat
into-
smash into.
That's what
knocked him off.
It wasn't
Yeah.
a
Oh,
gust
the
of wind, it was
boat, that's
boat
right.
That smashed into the other side of the tower.
Anyway, so they're in a firing match. The car has the winch attached, so it can't move right now.
so she's unraveling it so they can drive away.
They can drive away.
And
he
is
goes
what?
over to
Oh,
a
Jesus
sack,
Christ. Yes.
hanging, not
a
swinging,
net.
Not dangling.
It's
a
hanging.
net.
It's like it's
It's
a
a
net.
It's like a
net.
fishing net.
filled with hubcaps. He cuts the bottom open. Hubcaps pour out. We're
He's
like,
standing in like an alcove.
yeah, an alcove
So like
from
the
the storm.
alley's going down and the wind is tearing down the alley and he's in this alcove. He's Jesus God. It's so
so-
good. I've never seen it. I've never seen anything
No,
like it.
I've never seen anything like it.
They're chasing him down. They're like scoping him, like getting closer
and I
to the
said,
alleyway.
is he going to start frisbeeing these things? I was like, come
Absolutely.
on. And it's exactly what fucking
But
happened.
the best part, the wind was ripping, so he was like standing perpendicular to it, and he was just kind of like lightly
He was giving-
tossing
no.
them into the current.
Yeah,
of
he was
air.
just giving it to
He
it,
was
and it
like,
was
"All
like
right,
a
hup,
fucking
hup."
baseball shooter. It was
Yeah,
like,
it was just
boom,
boom.
boom.
It was awesome. As soon as he let go of it, it was just gone.
So like the fifth,
it's like, why isn't it ripping his fingers off of his hand?
Yeah,
Like, what's
it's
going
so good.
on?
so like the fifth or sixth one goes right into the chest of Brother Toothgap.
Brother
Brother
Brother of Toothgap.
of Gaptooth.
just
It just lands in his
Dude, it
chest.
fucks him
Fucking
up.
went halfway in,
How
man. That was
fast that
brutal.
would have to be good. And that here's the thing is,
There was sternum in his whole rib cage.
Yeah, it was-
Brother of Gaptooth was just standing in that current
fine.
that shot a fucking hubcap like a bullet into his
Hubcaps,
torso.
like shatter. They're like plastic.
Yeah.
They're nothing.
It's amazing.
It fucking went right through his chest.
It's not like they're sharp either.
Yeah, they're soft, round
If only
plastic
this movie
edges.
was dumber, it could have been like him like
Kind of
surfing on
decapitated.
hubcaps or something, you know?
Jesus. I wish.
He like jumps into the current like, yeah!
If I have one criticism with this movie, it's that it didn't go far enough.
Yeah. Well, we still haven't got to the scene.
if it was sillier, it would have been like the like I'm dead but I don't know it yet kind of thing.
Yeah,
where,
yeah.
like, oh, that one missed me, and then his head falls off.
Right.
Oh man.
Like, dude, this guy's attacking me with hubcaps, and then like his whole.
I just
arm
wanted to
falls
see
off.
Will. I wanted to see Will, the meteorologist, like control a current and just like surf on it or something.
The storm
I
protects
wanted
him.
a surfing scene on air.
The storm protects Will. It's
You know,
it's constantly helping
it's
him.
a sentient storm,
Yeah.
and it knows it owes Will for killing his father.
Yeah.
I think I feel like Jesus. I gotta pay this debt. I'm
yeah,
here
I'll
to
pay you the debt by not killing you at
I was
any
in
cost.
storm
Don't
jail
judge
for
me by my
26
skull
years.
face, man. I'm
Yeah.
not. That was an
I'm not
accident.
too bad of a guy. I have a job.
I feel like we missed.
I was doing it.
It's just my nature,
You're
man.
right.
It's just
I think we may have missed a scene where Will and
Who cares?
her talking, but it was
You
one
know
of
we
my favorite
didn't. We didn't.
portions of dialogue in the movie when she goes, "What, like, what makes you want to like chase a storm or whatever?" Or no, she goes.
oh, the global warming part.
Yeah, the global warming shit.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
she's like, well, that's traffic, and now we go back to weatherman Will whatever,
Oh,
and that's where he gives the
God.
like sarcastic weather report about it's gonna destroy your life
She-
and ruin everything that was ever here. And then he then immediately segues into like a very serious speech about like, you know, it's global warming. It's a real problem because the amount of water that's evaporating from the oceans feeding these storms. They're just going to keep getting bigger. It was awesome. I thought that was so good. That was like the Neil Breen kind of like.
Yeah,
I
it was.
have a
That was
message.
Neil Breenish.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
good. I enjoyed that.
Maybe they got a grant from somewhere that like required them to talk about that.
I think the special effects were good in this movie.
They're not terrible.
That's not the problem with this
I know.
movie. The special effects are not the
They're
problem.
pretty good though. I just wanted to say.
They had a budget, clearly.
No, yeah. I mean, no. This was in theaters
For a
Not
minute.
long.
for a minute.
What the fuck happens
So
next?
Gaptooth brother's dead.
Brother
they have
of
to go.
Gaptooth.
Brother of Gaptooth is
So
dead.
they show a few people die here. I think the black
Lady dies,
in the
yep.
storm here.
Yep, she gets shot.
Oh yeah,
She gets shot.
Casey shoots her, and then she crashes
Several
into a
times.
gas station and blows the.
It
fuck
blows up. Right.
And Perkins is
Didn't
like,
seem to have any remorse for that.
no!
Perkins does not like death.
Well, I think that
Even
was his
though-
lady.
It might have been.
I think they were involved or something. I don't know. He got really mad about that. He screamed her name. He was like- he said Karen. That's funny. I remembered her name. The woman who had two lines and then exploded in the gas station.
So they get away in the Dominator, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Is
He
this-
like gives
they blow up one of the
coming
trucks.
after them.
They
Yeah,
blow
he
up,
gives-
they blow up one of the
gives
trucks.
up. Yeah, but they blow both the trucks up, and he the next scene it goes to the facility.
Well, she gets the winch totally off, and she comes and grabs Will.
She goes and grabs Will. But I'm saying is like after they drive away, then it cuts to the facility, and it's like Perkins is like walking in there like half a man. You remember he's like all beat up. It's when he's like,
yeah, because he got
fucked
up.
completely, and they're like, what happened? And the Gap Tooth is like, where's my brother? And he's like, he didn't make it. What do you mean he didn't make it? He's dead. Oh shit! It's been an hour.
We went off the rails for a while at the beginning. So he comes back and he's like, we got to get that fucking woman. This is ridiculous. And now he has the sheriff and all of his men with him too.
Yeah, that's right.
There's like
all of the
6
deputies.
more people now. And where the fuck were they in the gunfight? Anyway,
It doesn't.
dude. Then that's when the sheriff with the broken arm tries to overthrow Perkins.
God, there's
But
so much this
scene
movie
sucks.
left.
This movie
There's
sucks.
so much in this movie left.
The scene sucks. It is pointless, except to just give Perkins more henchmen after they just killed.
It's part
all
of his.
henchmen.
It's
So,
part
yeah.
of
Do
his
you realize
descent.
that? That's all
yes,
it was.
yes.
It was like henchman refill.
No, it's part of his descent. It's part of his like going further and further to accomplish
that's
his
true.
goal.
That's what it was meant
Because
as.
he doesn't want to. You know, in
Kill.
the beginning he's using darts, and then
he
in
just
this one,
executes
he
the
just
sheriff.
blows him away.
Now he abolishes him
Completely.
into another dimension.
Oh right, yeah. They cut to the
His
cover
body
shot.
is dissolved. That shit.
He shoots the sheriff like 1 foot in front of his face. And they
They're
cut to a
arguing.
wide shot, and there's nobody. It's awesome.
I love
He
that.
just shoots him into
gone.
oblivion. It's-
Shot him with a god gun. It dissolved him.
It's that gun. It's like that gun from Super Mario Brothers. It just de-evolved him into parameciums.
and then he offers.
I used some sort of fungus on the floor.
That'd be amazing.
Then he offers all the deputies $20 million to
they're
flip,
like-
which
And they're
they
like, yeah,
do,
okay,
of course.
fine, great, okay.
Now we're all on board. Let's go find that
So
woman.
Will and Casey stop at a mall, underground,
No, no,
the
no,
parking
no,
lot
no,
of a
no.
mall.
Wait, is it jelly sandwich time
Nope,
first?
nope,
Is it jelly sandwich time first?
Nope.
No.
What's next?
Yes. Jelly sandwich time. They go. No, that's when they're looking for. No.
Oh,
Is this when they pee?
No, this
is
is
when they
when-
get out and pee?
They go to some building, and we're like, where the fuck are they?
it looks like a garage or
yeah,
something.
and we're like, where? Why?
It's
why?
Reese's garage.
No.
I don't think it is.
This is the peeing, right?
Oh, that right. Jesus Christ.
No, that's when they break into the
Oh.
mall. Hold
Yeah,
up.
That's the mall.
This is Jesus Lord. This is no, they are, and they're in some kind of garage, and this is where the peanut butter sandwich happens, and
That's Reese's garage.
That's at Reese's.
Okay, fine. They decide to
Because the
make
door,
because
because they just came from a Category
That's
5
right.
hurricane down the street,
Yeah,
and then they close those doors on Reese's garage, which are the most flimsy fucking things, and everything's fine. It's like they're just like,
they're barely moving.
they're barely moving. So
They
they
have a conversation where they eat the sandwiches,
Which he
No,
has.
they
He
pee
has a
before that.
sandwich with.
Because I remember
every day.
being like, you peed before you ate. That's weird. Like, you
well, they
needed
go
pee
back to
before-
where they pee from. Oh my god!
This is where they plan to make the bomb because they're still
Yes.
trying to get back in to save Reese.
Yeah.
Where she decides to make the bomb, and I guess that's when they eat the sandwiches.
Yes, it is.
Because
Okay.
she's starving. He's like, do you like peanut butter and jelly? And then he opens it up and he
He
has
has
a
a
peanut butter and jelly
drawer.
sandwich for every day of the week
in
in
a
a
drawer in
Dominator.
the Dominator. Oh, this is when we find out the name of the
He eats
Dominator.
one
too.
sandwich a day.
PB&J every day,
What the hell is
and
this
he's
plan?
a jiffy guy.
He's a
And she's
guy.
like, "Is this?"
Let's
I know.
not- no,
Why?
that's-
no, we
that
need
line.
to.
I know.
Because they feel the
It's the
need
worst
for her to go.
dialogue.
Is this? What is this? She goes, "Is this?"
No,
Is
this
Is this
Oh.
Jiff? And he says,
Oh,
"No,
yeah.
it's Spiffy." Because I'm a
Skippy.
A Skippy.
Because
Because I'm a Skippy
boy
guy.
or
Yeah, I'm a
whatever.
Skippy guy.
You fucking asshole! Shut up!
Yeah, the dialogue is whatever.
Why
so
even
glad.
have her ask what type of peanut butter it is?
You know what I will give this movie
hell
credit
is
for?
raining from the sky.
You gotta get that peanut butter money, son.
I'll give this movie credit that they never kissed and there was nothing romantic going on.
you're right.
Between them.
You're right.
But I will give the movie credit for that because they're like if they had kissed after the conversations they had in this fucking movie, they both have autism and they need so each other because them talking to each other is fucking insane.
It's really
super
weird.
bad.
They share a lot, though. They know a lot about each other by the end of this movie.
But that's when she
Who
decides.
the fuck says is this a brand of peanut
She's
butter?
like, we need to
It just angers me. Yeah.
It all tastes the same. I've never had one that's better than another.
her plan to get into a building that she works at
Is to
and
make
has been in billions of times and
Right.
should know how to get into is to turn the Dominator into a giant fart bomb with fertilizer and chemicals to
Right.
blow a hole through the wall.
Right. And he doesn't want to do it, but he
What?
agrees. And they have to go to
This is
the
where they
mall.
have the whole like federal conversation where he's like, "This is a federal vehicle, and I'm not
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
do
And
that."
she's like, "They'll
"Well,
pay
that's
you
federal money in that building that I have to protect." It's the stupidest argument.
She's like, you can buy a
God.
fleet of Dominators with the money in that building, which doesn't help because it's not
gonna
his money.
It's also going to be destroyed.
Yeah, it's gonna get shredded. Who
If-
cares about this
if you
fucking
save
money?
it, it's going to be destroyed.
The government is not gonna, oh my god.
People died over this money that probably would have just
I thought
been
you were
fucking
trash.
Dude, Moreno could have just set it on fire
Fire.
in the building, and it'd been fine.
Well, they probably all would have died.
So their plan is to get the fertilizer from a mall.
From a garden store.
A
Oh
garden
no, they
store.
go to the garden store first. The mall
Yeah.
happens is in response to what happened.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
God,
Because they
there's-
go-
Oh, God.
Man,
God, there's so much left.
What is there? Is there a Reese scene? Is that when Reese fixes the generator?
we're doing this backwards. This movie makes no sense. We are doing this backwards. They go to the mall first. They do. They pee first and go to the mall. Because they do the trade because when they go to the greenhouse is when the water happens.
No.
That's when Reese disappears. That's why,
Yeah.
because he's not there after
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's
so
why it's
it has to happen
confusing.
the other way around. So okay, they stop and pee, not eat sandwiches, have equally as shitty dialogue.
Oh my god.
Go to the mall. We're even farther backwards in the movie, Bob. They go to a mall
This
where
is the
they
best
catch
scene,
off
though.
the fucking wildest plan I've ever heard of.
This is the best scene of the movie.
Yeah, they
easily.
call them in walkie-talkies and are like, "Hey, I'll come back and open the safe, but you have to let Moreno and
Reese out.
Reese leave.
You have to bring them to the mall.
Bring them to the mall, and I will trade you." And he goes, "Deal, I guess."
That's right, because she doesn't have a gun because she
Yeah.
gets the flare gun and they get that at the garage.
So they
No,
put.
they get the flare gun at the store.
They
I
get
know, but they get the other gun at the garage
yes,
later.
the garage, yes.
So at the store, they get a flare gun. They put
Yeah.
on harnesses.
And then when the bad guys show up,
He has on a gauge on his watch that tells you the barometric pressure outside,
yeah.
or the atmospheric pressure.
It's hooked to
How?
the Dominator,
How?
I guess.
I don't know.
Oh,
It's hooked to the
probably is.
Dominator.
Which doesn't have a satellite anymore, so why would it work?
Well, it could have some type of link to his
It's
watch.
got, it's got fucking Bluetooth.
So they
Anyway.
show up and they're, you know how like,
They're like stalling for time,
right, and they're at the bottom of an escalator, and he's at
It's
the
like
top.
a mall that has a set of escalators for every floor
Yeah,
in the middle of a circular room with a big glass.
like the end of a
dome.
mall, like the ending of a mall, like when it ends and it kind of circles
Yeah.
out.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. And so they're like in the middle section, and then at the
A
bottom
cul-de-sac,
there's like
if you will.
there's the cowboy sheriff
That was the
minion.
other black guy. You're right. That
Yeah.
is the second black
Yeah.
character. He was a police officer.
He was like
He
across
He was a
from
cop,
them.
that's right.
Police officer.
He was like across from them, right? And then like the other guys were Reese and like the cowboy sheriff.
They're at the bottom.
They're all the way
deputy.
at the bottom, and there were some people like 2 floors
Right.
in the middle floor, and they were on the 3rd floor.
So they're like
Jesus
so
Lord.
Will, it's hard to describe. Will is like standing out there, and they're like, "Bring her out, and you'll get your brother," you know. And he's like, "All right, we'll bring her out here." And he keeps looking at his watch, which is getting redder and redder on the dial. I guess assuming it's getting more dangerous.
Yeah.
So she comes out, and they're both wearing their harnesses, and then he's kind of they have some weird the weird football metaphor. Remember
Dude,
with
yeah,
fuck that
with
every-
Reese and Will,
Fuck
where he's
it.
basically warning him. It reminded me of Temple of
Something's going
Doom,
on.
like
He goes, you're gonna want
I'm
to
go- yeah.
he know nuts, he crazy,
brother.
right?
Yeah. Alpha Omega 22.
Yeah, right,
whatever.
right. So
You're gonna want to run along here in a minute.
So basically, as it gets to the most possible amount of pressure, she shoots with a flare gun, shoots out the glass ceiling
And it's
of the mall.
it's like space is on the other side of
It's
that glass.
awesome.
Like everything in there is ripped out of the room. People just start getting sucked into nothingness.
And the two of them
are tethered to fire hoses. They're in a goddamn wilderness shop. They didn't have like rope,
that was
spelunking
shorter.
gear.
I thought it was. Was it a fire hose? I thought it was rope.
No, it was fire hoses.
It was like a fire hose on a fire hose tether. Either way,
It's always fire hoses.
You don't understand what happens in the scene. It's like their plan was to let the air suck them through the
roof.
ceiling.
Why did they
And
make
there's
Jesus?
the wide shot of the two of them literally being sucked around out of the mall on a tether.
It was awesome.
It's, why
When that
did you
one guy
make it
gets sucked out,
shorter?
right?
It could have been any length.
Because it looked great.
It's
And they had to get on
amazing.
the outside of the building.
How did they know
Dude.
Reese wouldn't get sucked up?
They didn't. They didn't give a shit.
He
they just
runs
went
out.
for it.
He gets out.
Yeah,
gets
he's
out.
like holding something. He could have easily died.
Yeah, he could have easily died.
Somehow they managed to grapple themselves back onto the
No,
roof.
they climb back down.
They don't show it.
A
though.
storm is literally sucking them hard enough out of a wall, and they pull themselves physically
Down.
back down.
But what blows them off? Something something happens where they like get pushed off the roof.
Well,
I think
they
something
tether themselves down to the top of the roof, not back through the hole. And then
No, 'cause a
all
whole
the
bunch
all
of
the
shit
debris,
starts
yeah,
coming.
all the debris like kind of starts wiping towards them, like shards of metal
All
and
of
shit.
Silver Spring, Maryland is
All
heading,
the-
is heading towards them.
And then they jump off the side of the building, and they're still tethered down to the bottom, so it swings through a window.
That's right. And,
And
back
they're
into
back
the
in-
garage.
they're back into the-
where there's no wind.
Hey,
There's no
They're
wind.
back into the garage. It was so perfect and awesome.
And then just hoped for the best
This
for
is
Reese,
where-
I guess.
Yeah.
They go back to the garage. Then they have the sandwich thing because they were looking for Reese. He was like, I wonder why Reese didn't come back here, man.
Oh yeah,
damn,
that's why
man.
they went. Yeah.
I thought my brother be all in here, man. Oh,
Oh,
damn.
he loves this place. He wouldn't leave.
That's
And,
their plan. That was their plan, and then that Reese would just show up.
Yeah,
eventually.
he would just go
But he
back
didn't.
to.
God
he
in
loves that
heaven.
apartment. That was his. That's his everything. man.
Now they make the plan to make the bomb car.
Right.
And then the following scene is just like the movie was like, wow, we're getting a little long in the tooth here. Because they're robbing a greenhouse that should be obliterated.
Yeah, it's
Which makes no sense. And then the bad guys show up and go,
Somehow.
we knew you'd find you here. And we were like, how? Did you have the dumbest plan in the world
Well,
like she did?
I guess the
Like, what the
Dominator's
fuck?
pretty noticeable. Maybe they were just out looking for
they
him.
literally just show the
Yeah, they're
fuck
just
up.
there.
It's insane. And then the storm negates the bomb plan, the ridiculousness
Well, then-
of them knowing they're there because it just
Wipes it away.
a tidal
Yeah,
wave.
the ocean swells and comes in at the perfect time because it loves Will and wants to protect him.
Right.
Destroys
And,
everyone.
Yeah, it just wipes everything out.
But it
I
fucks
wish at the
everybody.
end that
Yeah.
the storm like looked at Will and gave him a thumbs up,
God, that would've been so good.
like in T2 or something. Like,
Yeah.
no.
We should probably watch the end again to see the shape of the clouds.
Yeah.
There might be a thumbs up in it. But
So they all get swept
Everybody
away.
gets
everybody
one.
gets fucked up. Like Will is like he finds the
He
Dominator.
finds the Dominator,
And he's like,
and he's
yes.
super happy about it.
But
Even though
then
it's fucked up beyond belief.
Perkins finds Casey like passed out
Right,
on like
yeah.
a fucking inflatable mattress. I was like, where the hell did that come from? Anyway,
It's so many like contrivances. It's almost beautiful.
it's nuts. And in the way that's shot, you can't tell who's can see
No.
what's happening
No.
or if they're anywhere near each other.
It's so
'Cause you're just like,
everything's
who-
so like dank green. It doesn't make any sense.
Once the storm is like hit peak storm, every scene is sort of just like you can only see 20 feet around the people, and then beyond that,
You
it
definitely
is,
can't
it
hear
is like
them.
Yeah, it's like the
gray
mist. It's like the
storm.
mist happening. You're like, why?
It's awesome, man.
Yeah. But it's louder. It's like if the mist was completely annoying.
The mist screamed at you.
Yeah, like constantly.
That's so good.
Then it goes.
So
It cuts away from Will for a minute because we see him later.
Perkins brings Casey back to the facility.
Right.
Well, when we see Perkins sees Casey, then it cuts to Reese on the boat.
No, that's later.
No, it isn't. It's immediately afterwards.
Oh, after the Casey scene, right?
Because we were watched that scene twice.
Yeah.
He pulls up in the boat and finds Will, and he's like, "Hey, brother," and he saves him. Then it shows
he was looking for a boat the whole time.
Where you been?
Then it shows Casey back at the place,
right?
And then she's like, "Don't." She's like, "Fuck
She's
you."
like, I won't fuck you. I won't do it. And they're like, "Well, fine." And he's
Turn
like,
on the shredder.
"Turn on the shredder. What are you going to shred me? No, I'm going to shred Moreno."
And they barely start touching him before she gives up.
Yeah, she gives in.
She'll let him shred a toe.
Oh, we forgot the part where they put the boots to him, medium style, to Moreno.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
The fuck out of him.
Yeah,
right there.
I don't
Which turned
remember
him
why.
into a complete fucking like.
It was gratuitous.
Bum. He was like after they beat him up, he was just
He's nothing.
Yeah,
he was nothing.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you.
There was also a scene we're missing
broke
where we missed it, but the scene where like Perkins went down to see if Casey was or not if God, these names.
Reese. Oh yeah, Reese.
See if Reese was fixing. He was drinking.
Forgot. He was drinking. We also forgot the scene where Reese fixed the generator and then escaped and tried to free the soldiers.
And they hacked the fence. The hackers electrified.
Electrify. It doesn't matter.
Oh no, but that was great because you were like, "Uh-oh, hack the fence," and then they did.
hacked the fence.
They hacked the fence and electrocuted him. That was fucking awesome.
All right. We're almost to the end.
Jesus.
Chase. We got to get to this chase so we can.
So she's in the shop. They didn't kill Moreno. She's like, "I'll open the fucking safe. Bring me over there." He's like, "Thank the Lord." This is all we've been trying to do the whole movie.
Jesus Christ! Just change.
She opens the safe and he's like, "Finally, thank you." He kills Moreno.
He just
immediately
shoots
for
him.
whatever reason.
While she's not
Doesn't
looking.
kill her.
I loved it because
Oh,
she
yeah.
wasn't looking.
She
and then
turned around and was like,
she's
"Oh,
like,
wait."
"Oh, you shot somebody?" Oh! I was like
Who
why
else
would you
would he have
film it
shot?
like that?
Who else would he have shot? She looked like, oh,
Oh shit! That wasn't me. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
no, it's just.
But then he doesn't kill her, which I don't understand.
Yeah, he
at all.
kills Moreno for the people that she killed
Yeah,
or was
but
a
not
part
her. Whatever.
Whatever.
They start loading up the truck. That's when we
that
get
they had loaded up at the beginning of the movie. They get back to the exact place Fergus was at the
Jesus.
beginning.
Ah, man.
It's so good.
That's
It's
Jesus.
amazing.
Well, she also does the thing where, like, before she opens the safe, she pulls out the iPad she hid in the facility, and she was like, "It's been here the
the whole time. Everything that just
I
happened.
thought Perkins was gonna fucking snap.
I wish he killed everyone. Just like
I thought he was gonna be like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me!" Right there. I've been standing most of the movie right there.
next to it.
So that
God damn it.
And that's actually true.
It
He
is
spent
true.
so much time standing next to that
So many
shredder.
people died, and it was there. It was right there.
then it's
It's been up your fucking
Then it's-
ass.
then
It's
Will
Will
then
and
it's the eye
Reese.
of the storm. Then the eye of the storm.
well, he
shows up.
describes
Well, he talks about that
earlier.
earlier, but that's when Will and Reese.
He says how. Well, wait. He's
gear up.
just so you
Yeah.
know.
back to the garage.
He says the eye of the storm is basically like a beautiful day, but when you see the edge of the inner wall of the eye, it's like the most dangerous
He called
place.
it an atomic thunderstorm.
Yeah,
or something.
it's.
Yeah. It's like a vacuum that's going over the land.
He
It's
said
pretty
it was.
much, yeah.
It was like a storm powered by an atomic reaction, something like that, like a nuclear bomb storm,
Yeah.
which will be important later.
So
Oh my god.
that's when the hackers and Perkins and then then the cowboy sheriff
Gaptooth.
all get their own truck filled with money.
They filled 3 trucks with $200
Cowboy
million
Sheriff's dead
each.
at this point.
No, he's not. No, he lived. He's in the end chase scene.
Who?
Cowboy sheriff, the guy with the cowboy hat.
No, he got
No, he
sucked
gets
out of-
killed by
yeah.
Perkins,
Well, then who was
and then his
driving the
body
truck at the end?
disappears. Let's see. There was
No, that
hacker-
was the sheriff. Wait, what?
The sheriff's
It's the
dead.
hackers are driving
The
one
cowboy
car.
deputy, I mean.
Oh,
The hackers are
oh,
in
the fat
back.
guy, right?
The fat cowboy deputy with the mustache
Right, yeah.
is
The
driving one of the trucks at the
the
end.
pedo dude.
The hackers are driving a truck, and then Perkins and Casey are in the front truck.
And Gaptooth.
And Gaptooth, right?
Yeah.
Because Gaptooth can't. He's just sitting
He's
there
just
telling her how he
Casey's-
wants to fucking kill her the whole
Casey's
time.
in the car with Captooth,
The first-
not with the
No,
the
I
fat
know.
guy. Yeah,
No, I
Perkins
know,
is
I know,
driving
right.
his own truck.
Yeah, that's right.
Perkins is driving the front car by himself.
He doesn't like to talk. He's had a long day.
Right, but somebody's driving the car with Casey and the Gap
The
Tooth.
mustache guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
the deputy.
So the first one is Perkins. The second one back is
the deputy and
God,
Gap
the deputy
Tooth.
and Gap Tooth. The third one back is the hackers.
Yes.
the hackers. And then we see Will and Reese pull up in a truck behind them.
A
A tow truck, not the Dominator. Because
See,
Dominator's
we didn't-
fine.
They're also
We didn't address the weird things that reinforced our Silver Spring confusion.
Right, because he says he points to his dad's door from his old dad's tow truck, and it says Baltimore Towing Company.
And at one point, they say they're from...
what? Yeah, two of the guys that are loading the truck with money are like, we're gonna be the two richest bastards from Fells Point.
Yeah, they say they're from Fells
They
Point.
said they were from Fells Point. I didn't mishear that.
No,
there was no storm happening.
no,
they
the
were
door
in the facility.
and the Fells Point quip and the fact that other facilities located there. It's like, what are you trying to do?
Yeah, it was confusing. But they are driving.
It really is the best way to watch the movie, though. It was kind of disappointing when
we found out it was
figured out.
Alabama. Yeah.
Their plan to escape with all this money is to drive along the eye of the storm while it also traverses the land until the storm dissipates.
Dissipates, right.
And then they'll just be driving and
But
everything will be cool.
In their defense, he does say this.
That's fucking insane!
No,
Why
it's
would the eye of
insane.
the storm go exactly over where they are for them to start to be able to do that?
Well,
I
it's
know.
like what they
Because
said it was,
otherwise they have to come out. Why didn't the wall of the eye destroy the facility? Like, there's a million.
I know.
The movie just cuts to them driving in the eye, and you're like, "How did you get there?
Yeah, that means
How
that.
did you know where it was? You're not meteorologists, for fuck's sake! Even the guy with the storm tank couldn't tell you where the eye was. It's outrageous.
No, like
And why
that
the
would
movie
mean no. It
rules.
would mean that the inner wall passed over the facility.
And then
It
they're
must
like, "Oh, it's
have,
good,"
yeah.
and then we'll go like.
that town is definitely gone at
It's
this
beautiful.
point. They leave.
Dude, that
and-
wall was. All right.
This doesn't.
They're driving. Okay. They're in the middle of a circle that is okay, right? But
It's
like
beautiful.
20
No,
miles
I know,
long.
but everything on
20,
the outside of it is
we'll say
destroyed.
25 to be in the middle.
My
Sure.
point being,
Yeah.
he said it was 500 miles of storm at one point.
Right.
Okay? Let's say the eye's 40 miles wide. It doesn't fucking...
He said that was the possible max. Is that it's 40 miles inside the eye.
Size is irrelevant. When they're driving on that road, they're like looking out the back window and seeing farmhouses being eaten up by the wall of the storm
Right.
that weren't eaten up by the other wall of the storm that already went over the entire area. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
It looked
I
like
think-
there wasn't a storm. However, 400 miles of a storm, or no, 200 miles
Although
of a
the storm
storm
had already been there.
already passed over
I
this
think
area,
what-
but it was dry. The ground was dry.
I
There were
know.
houses.
I think what the movie was trying to
It's
posit
insane.
was saying that all the shit we were seeing beforehand wasn't that exact storm. It was like the coming of the storm. And I guess the only way this would work is if the storm formed at around the time that they left.
Shut up.
When
That's the only thing that would make sense, though.
When the eye
No.
shows up, nothing happens. It's just like boom. It's a beautiful
fine.
day
It's a
now.
beautiful day.
It's
Yeah,
not
so I'm
like
saying,
it
it's
came
like
through
the
and wiped
earth
out everything.
rebuilt itself.
Well, I'm saying maybe,
immediately.
it created a storm perfectly. Like they were, the whole other rest of the movie was just the like chaos prior.
It posits
to the
a theory
forming.
that this universe like self-populates.
Yeah, I know.
Because the town was already wiped off the earth and it sort of just came back exactly the way it was.
Yeah.
And now that storm like destroyed a house that apparently just rebuilt immediately to then be destroyed by the 40 miles later
Yeah.
by the other side of the storm. You know what I mean? Like the front edge of the
There's-
storm should have been like ripping the earth out from underneath of it. You know what I mean? It looked okay. They were still driving on a road with trees next to it.
They would have had to teleport into the middle of the storm to start
Matt,
driving.
Do you have a storm tank?
I don't.
Then
But
shut the fuck up.
But they don't have
What do
storm
you
tanks.
know about hurricanes?
They have Mack trucks.
those houses wouldn't have been there.
Yeah, I know what Matt's
It's
saying.
impossible for that house to be there. Unless what Bob's saying, unless the storm formed with the eye protecting.
A better movie would have showed it forming like right before they left.
A better movie, yes, would have showed the storm almost do anything.
Yeah, I
except
know.
Form the shape of. A
There's
skull.
no way to explain other than
That was the best part.
I mean,
There's no way to explain it other than you just have to accept that the eye they got
They're
to the eye of the storm
driving
with the town still being there somehow. It doesn't make sense.
yeah. So they're.
So then Will and Reese are at the back behind the 3 trucks that are in line. They get I don't even care to describe it. They get out.
They get out
on
of
the
the
hood
truck
of their fucking car. They jump onto the back truck, and then
They just
Will
systematically-
climbs.
Dude, I looked away from the movie for like 2 minutes. Or not even 2 minutes. I checked a message on my phone when I looked up. They had already taken over the first van.
Well, luckily it was the hackers who are incompetent in everything but hacking.
He broke
They
the
started
guy's.
like, fucking while they were driving.
They were trying to
didn't
fuck
they?
while they were driving,
Yeah.
and then he like shot the guy through the arm, and she was trying to help him with his arm.
And they just like took over the van.
So Will's like driving the van, and then
And then they did the same
Then Reese-
Scooby-Doo shit. They just like got onto the
Reese
next one.
Reese gets on the next one, and he takes that over. Which he kills. He straight up kills like
Reese is in the hacker one.
No, Reese is in the hacker
He
one.
stays in the
Will
hacker one.
goes
Will
up.
goes to that one. Sorry,
Because the next one has... Oh, at this point...
The next one has Casey in it.
Gaptooth is trying to kill Casey.
Yeah, he's
fighting with her, and she blasts the driver of the car with a submachine gun.
Yeah.
That's attached to...
while he's trying to bite her on the neck.
Yeah, he's like trying to eat her throat out.
Well, she killed his brother.
It's true.
Even though she didn't kill his brother.
But then Will gets a hold of the truck, but they're already like veering off the road, and it hits this bump. And this is cool. It hits this
Bump that
and,
throws
everybody in the
Gaptooth
car,
up.
But she stays on the ground and like grabs
Catches the gun, shoots him. The door flies open. Remember?
and he's just gone.
He just
Yeah.
goes out.
It was like
It was nuts.
amazing.
It was
so
great.
fluidly. It was just like
Bye. It's going.
Then there's like
my favorite scene
Giant
personally. The hubcap is
concrete-
great, but
Yeah.
I don't know the
what,
execution.
the giant concrete.
No, the
Oh.
anti-gravity
I mean, the hub
scene.
between the hubcap, the bungee cording thing, the fire hose thing, I guess, and this, I like the fire hose the most.
All right, so this
That was
has
funny.
Because as a plan, it's insanity.
Yes.
No
We're
human
gonna-
would
we're
say
gonna
this.
suck ourselves into the
No
space.
human would say this would work.
It works.
Well, yeah, in a movie.
So you love it. Describe it.
What?
You said this is my favorite part.
Well,
We
know,
just
he did.
we were just talking about.
He
it.
meant the thing with the guy getting sucked out of the car.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just so
I
fluid.
thought you were.
I don't know.
I
It's
was
great.
wondering what you thought
So
was
now-
awesome about the concrete building.
Oh no, yeah, the
So
wall.
Reese
in the middle
has
of
the
nowhere.
back. Reese has now got the back with the hackers. Then there's Will and Casey have the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no. At this point, they veered off the road, and Reese is like keeping pace with Perkins in the front,
Right.
and they have to catch up, which happens instantly, which doesn't make any sense because
Right.
they're all going the same speed because they're all driving the same exact truck with the same amount of payload in it. But whatever. They catch
the
up
storm's
to
like
them
about a
somehow.
mile. The storm's getting closer to them.
The storm is way closer to
Yeah.
them, and they run a football.
They were a football
on
play,
them.
pushing Perkins to the back
They keep smashing into him side at the same time on each side
until he
which-
backs out, and then they
What
start.
is that?
You
Why?
know,
Why
like in
would-
football.
I don't know.
Why did he start stepping on the brakes?
I don't know.
Why would you ever
So,
step on the brakes when
they
there's
start
a
running-
wall of
they
death
start-
behind
He
you?
didn't want it bad
They
enough.
start running a Z pattern on the fucking road to keep him from moving past them,
Yeah, they're basically like
blocking him.
boxing him out so that the storm is just going to eat him up, which it does.
Which it does.
It does.
Well, it does in an awesome way. It rips the
It rips the back
off,
trailer off and then dumps it right down on top of it, exploding the whole thing.
blows him up.
It litters $200 million over the
Yeah, he's
countryside
so- no!
first.
My
Well,
money!
that's why it's so good. It like destroys him. The car explodes. You see the storm like eat up the rest of the parts, like suck them up. Then it shows Will look in the rearview mirror, and the storm makes the skull face again.
That's after they Reese jumps over.
Oh, you're right.
'Cause Reese's so
Reese's truck starts
yeah.
spitting smoke.
Yeah,
Okay,
Reese's
so he
truck
has to
fucks
jump
up.
over. And then they try to get the hackers to
They
jump
try
over.
to
they
say
try
the
to say the
hackers-
hackers.
Fuck 'em!
I know. What was that? What was why?
Because they're just hackers.
You just shot them. You just shot that guy.
Yeah, they're just the hackers.
Dude, fucking let it just eat it up.
suck them into nothingness.
Which
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 it
happens.
does.
Yeah,
That
it totally
happens.
kills them.
They're going. And so now it's just a matter of flooring it,
Which they do.
and they get away. They say some shit, and then it literally the end.
They lose their money too, right? They lose their trailer.
No, they still have their trailer.
They still. That's right. And then
Because she jokes about,
because they
she
make
makes
the
a
joke.
joke about
She's
like
like, hey,
taking
you
it to
wanna-
Mexico, and he's like, "I'm down." She's like, "I'm kidding."
Me too.
Jokes.
Then it ends like Hurricane Heist. That's the song Hurricane Heist shows up.
But seriously, why wouldn't you just take it? Because
the
she
government-
loves her job so
The
much.
government doesn't know who got it at this point.
No, the fucking
they're all
hurricane
gonna-
probably
they're all-
destroyed everything.
They're all heroes.
I can't believe it ended right there.
That was a terrible fucking way.
You know what?
to end
After all that, give me like a Trading Places ending where they're all on a beach. You know,
it.
that's it.
Yeah, that
I-
guy's still gonna be an alcoholic. I bet their relationship's probably not gonna get any better.
No. Oh, then okay, now then the skull in the storm happens.
God, if it ended with the skull forming again in the sky, like ha ha ha, ha to be continued.
Yeah, he looks in the rearview mirror and he sees the skull and then it dissipates. Which I'm assuming means he's
over his whole
over
fear
his
of-
fear, yeah.
He's no longer going to pursue
Even
his
though-
life goal.
Yeah, even though he's
He went
around
to-
them all the time.
He went to fucking school. He's like...
He has a truck designed to be in the middle of a storm. But now he's fine with it, I guess. Maybe he hated it before.
It's just them. And it ends. It's over.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
it's
it's
just
over.
It ends so unclimactically after all that. It's so crap.
Everyone sucks at acting except for Perkins. He was the only good guy, a good actor rather.
And he has nothing to do.
And he, oh, there is
That one
time
part where he like
when he
grabs Reese by the throat. That was
was
good.
I don't know, I felt like it was a little Nick Cage-esque.
Yeah,
It
it was
was
I don't know,
not-
I liked
not
it.
so good.
I
was
liked
kinda
it.
Like
Oh, no, I was
too
about
much.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
I thought he went a little too over the top.
That's what I want. I want Nick Cage-esque.
But he was the only person doing a good job. It was like him dropping the ball.
Dude,
You know
the
what I mean?
hacker, the female hacker was the worst actor in
Oh my god!
an ensemble of actors that didn't even care. She was like
the worst.
horrendous. I
feel like she was trying.
I don't even like acting criticisms, to be honest, much, but she was fucking atrocious.
That she was a person saying words.
Yeah, it was like we need a human in this area. Can you just say things?
True Blood Reese was all right in that he played
he
his
was
one
fine.
character
Yeah.
that he knows well. I guess
He was way better than his brother,
Yeah.
Oh my god,
who was awful.
that was bad.
And
That was a bad
Casey was
role.
fine. She wasn't. There's
She was
worse.
okay. I mean, she had the most personality out of every
Yeah.
character.
Would you recommend people watch Hurricane Hike?
Fucking hell yeah! But
Yeah.
I say that about every of these movies.
I
Any
Watch
weather
all
movie,
weather
I know.
movies, Matt PA.
Yes. If a movie
was
is
worth it.
not weather.
enjoyed my time watching it. Actually,
Yeah, I mean
It was-
it's got like an A budget. You know,
Yeah.
it's not like it.
The effects were good.
it's not
The
the,
effect. I could see it being in theaters because the effects, not because of the cast.
It's easily not the worst movie I've done for this show.
It needed a star. And honestly, it needed like a star,
Yeah.
like somebody that had star
Man,
power.
if, like imagine like Sean Everett Scott. No, not Sean Everett Scott. Jesus Christ.
Sean William Scott?
Sean William Scott doing
that or
the
something
brother.
like
that would have been all right.
Doing
yeah,
Reese?
something-
He at least would have delivered the lines that were supposed to be funny in a way that made you realize they were supposed to be funny.
It just needed an actor.
like when he said it, not when the scene was over and you're like, oh, that was all supposed to be witty dialogue. I'm sorry. It just wasn't.
There are a couple of places where
Yeah.
I guess it was supposed to be
Yeah.
a moment of levity that
And
was
it's
I was just
not.
confused
No.
by. No, it doesn't land at all.
It just needed somebody to anchor this movie with talent. Somebody you're like,
Perkins
I
couldn't
trust
do
that
it.
person, and it
Perkins
didn't
couldn't
have
do it alone.
No, he's the bad guy. You need a good guy.
It's
It's a movie without a protagonist almost. It just
Yep.
feels like nobody's the good guy.
I guess it's Will,
It's-
but
yeah.
is it?
He sucks so bad.
He doesn't really. He barely has any.
He sucks.
He doesn't really do anything. He kills a guy with a hubcap. That was great, but that was more his whole agency in the film seems to just be that the storm helps him out when he needs it to. That's all he's really good for, and the Dominator. What else does he do that's helpful?
It's weird because
yeah, it's like why does he care about helping once he's reunited with his
it's
brother?
really weird to set up a
Yeah,
character arc.
why?
You
Why
said-
go after Perkins at all? What? He gets his brother. They go after. Okay, they need to get Casey back. Fine. So they get Casey, and then they still go after Perkins for some reason, who is hauling again garbage money. Why?
No, by
Just
the time-
go.
Yeah.
No,
they
there is a
should've
point at
just-
the end race where everything has been achieved that needs to be achieved.
Yeah,
You can
why
just-
kill
Then
Perkins?
it's time to just hit for it and get away from the monster.
Yeah, why?
Yeah.
They have no motivation to do so. Why do they care? I guess Casey cares.
Also, it's really
But again,
weird to
why?
spend the entire first part of the movie establishing somebody with fear, and then they grow up to be a meteorologist that runs
has
right
no-
into hurricanes.
it has no effect
You know,
on how
it's like,
there's never a point
what
where
is
he's
his
like
arc at the
having
end?
anxiety about
Right,
it or
yeah.
anything like that. Like he's
I know. I
just
said that when he goes to winch
Yeah.
the tower. I was like, let me just get out of the car during this hurricane
Hurricane.
and do the thing that my dad dies doing.
Exactly, but on a roof instead.
Yeah, more dangerous.
Yeah,
Like it wasn't.
it wasn't phasing him at all.
He was fine. He was
yeah.
like, well, I'll just
So
go
what's
do
his
this.
arc is that he
You're
learned.
the trained military person. Let me go do this. Like what? Nonsense.
Reese
It's
had all
great.
those guns in a hidden cabinet. Oh, he was in the
Oh,
army,
yeah, and his-
but still, that was weird. That was when our illusion was shattered.
Yeah, because he goes, "Hey, I am a resident." He's like, "Why do you have all those guns?" He's like, "I'm a resident of Alabama." So.
yeah, these were issued to
Right.
me
No!
every year.
No, that's Silver Spring.
God, what a beautiful dream while it lasted.
If only it could have been that good.
It was.
Gotta figure out what the hell that Fells Point meant.
It was- yeah.
Maybe there's a Fells Point, Alabama.
It doesn't
That's
explain the
just as
towing
atrocious
truck
as the Fells
thing.
Point in Baltimore.
Especially. Oh God,
I love it. I recommend this movie 100%.
It's
Great.
It's not
worth
boring.
watching. It's
No,
not
it's
boring.
not
It's not
boring.
boring.
I've definitely seen worse.
There's
Yeah.
only 2 scenes that are like don't have action in them.
Yeah.
almost. Or people screaming at each other. At least.
It's pretty much
Like,
constant motion.
it slows down like twice, but only for like 5 minutes. It's
It
pretty
takes a
good.
while to get going, I guess. Well, no, it doesn't
No.
really.
As soon as the
You just don't
rain
give a
starts,
shit.
Yeah, it's pretty much
as soon as
constant
the-
motion. So
yeah,
It's
as
just hard to
soon-
care about anything that's happening.
As soon as the van shows up at the guard station, the movie pretty much
Yeah.
slows down
It's
just for them to
nonstop,
eat those
yeah.
sandwiches and to pee. Which is kind of this movie. If
Why
someone
why
with
did
a
it
sense
showed
of humor,
people peeing.
if somebody with a sense of humor directed this, it would be like really funny.
Yeah, it
when
would
you
be.
think about the beats it takes.
Yeah.
Like the movie is insane, and then they take a beat to piss.
I guess
both
that's
of them.
just to show the passing of time. Like it's been
It's been
long enough that
That
they
they
have
need
they
to
have to
be.
do this.
But usually action movies, even that, you know what
You
I mean?
don't worry about people's.
No one in
bladders
like
in an
The
action
Rock
movie.
pissed.
Yeah,
You know, like, we didn't-
yeah, there were hostages that were there for days.
Anybody know how long
as a
it's
movie-
been?
As a movie watcher, you never went, man, I wonder if they're letting us pee."
Transformers 5 was like 7 hours long and no one took a piss. I'm pretty sure that movie. I'm
that
still
movie is
watching
one
it.
long piss.
We're never finished watching Transformers.
It's endless.
God.
All right.
But yeah, I say watch it.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'd vote for watching it.
It was time well spent.
I think Sean
agree.
Jones should definitely watch it.
Sean.
We're not gonna watch it with him.
Oh, fuck no.
No.
But he should watch it.
I'll watch it with him. I'd watch it again as long as it's with people. I wouldn't watch it alone.
No, fuck
I'd
no.
feel sad if I watched it alone.
It's not bad enough that it's an entertaining watch alone.
No.
I think.
No, it would be.
Because it's not terrible.
That would
It's
probably
fun.
make
It's
it worse for you. That's not gonna make it better.
Mm.
Because you'll have less distractions to stop you from actually watching the movie and realizing how bad it is.
Okay.
All right.
Bye. Bye, Skippy Peanut Butter.
Yeah, I'm skipping out.
You've just listened to Bonus Disc, available only on Thundergrunt. Questions, complaints, and movie suggestions can be posted to facebook.com/bonusdisc. Opinions and criticisms of the hosts of Bonus Disc are 100% valid, even though they took the time to watch the movies you were too ignorant to appreciate.